Chapter 1077 All the unpleasant things the guests said about Yi Wanwan were now sent back to Liang Meixian in all their glory. Father Gu and Mother Gu also didn't look too good. Having such a scandal happening to their in-laws during the engagement banquet was a blow to their reputation. They weren't optimistic about Yi Shaoan to begin with, since his abilities were much inferior to Yi Shaoting. If Yi wasn't his only daughter, they wouldn't have agreed to this marriage. Based on Yi Shaoting's current situation, the Yi family's future was uncertain. Who would have expected such a drastic transformation to occur to the incompetent spendthrift, Yi Mufan? Yi was pale as she watched her perfectly good engagement banquet devolving to the current situation. She could already imagine the rumors that would plague their circle after this banquet ended. What was worse was that Grandpa and Grandma. They originally wanted to utilize this chance to make the eldest branch lose favor with Grandpa and Grandma, but it backfired on them again. Damn it! Everything was organized perfectly, so where did it go wrong? As the matter stood, Yi Shaoan had no choice but to forcibly repress his fury. He was about to lead his emotional wife away when Yi Wanwan suddenly said, "Second aunt, my ring." Grandfather angrily chided, "Return it to Wanwan already." Before Liang Meixian could speak, Yi hastily stopped her mother with a look. She took the ring from her mother and handed it to Yi Wanwan. "Wanwan, I'm truly sorry. I didn't expect this. There must be a misunderstanding somewhere in here. I'll apologize to you after the banquet ends." It was evidently her engagement ring, but Yi had to personally return it to Yi Wanwan. Yi nearly couldn't maintain her facade. When she took the ring from her mother, she imperceptibly examined the ring again and ascertained that it was indeed her ring. How did Yi Wanwan's name appear out of nowhere though? "Everyone, I'm truly sorry. We've embarrassed ourselves with some trivial family matters in front of everyone." Meanwhile, Yi Hongwei and Tanny Lan hurried to smooth things over. After all, the engagement banquet had to continue still. After the banquet ended, they still had to expend a huge effort to pacify the guests and the Gu family. As soon as they thought about this, their faces turned darker. After the banquet ended, Yi Hongwei called Yi Mufan to his study. Yi Hongwei sighed and looked at his grandson. "Mufan, Wanwan has been wronged by this matter. You must console her well when you go home. I'll definitely severely punish your aunt." Yi Mufan, "Thank you, grandfather. Do you know why grandfather called you here?" Yi Hongwei asked. Yi Mufan shook his head to show his incomprehension. Yi Hongwei looked satisfied as he said, "People say hardships cause people to grow up, and they were right. You've finally grown up and become sensible. Grandfather is very pleased. Moreover, you've also taught Wanwan well. That girl is more and more well-mannered." When Yi Mufan heard this, he subconsciously rubbed his nose, feeling a little guilty inside. I'm obviously the one who's being taught, alright. If it weren't for Wanwan using extreme methods to awaken him, he'd still be trudging through life like a fool. Grandpa, I was too disgraceful before and disappointed you and Grandma. I'll work harder, Yi Mufan promised. Yi Hongwei nodded and said after a moment of silence, "You know your reputation in the Yi group from the past. If you want to come back, you must present something to convince the masses, do you understand?" Chapter 1078 Yi Hongwei's expectations were obvious. He had plans to allow Yi Mufan to return to the company, but the prerequisite was that he had to show some achievements. Although Yi Hongwei's attitude toward him kept softening, this was his first time making him this type of promise out loud. Today's matter might look like mere family conflict, but it was the fuse that triggered Yi Hongwei to make this decision. Yi Mufan came to a jolt. "Grandpa, I understand. I'll show you my capabilities for sure." After Yi Mufan finished conversing with Yi Hongwei, he left the Yi residence. Yi Shaoting and Liang Meixian went to get the car while Yi Wanwan waited for him at the entrance. As soon as Yi Mufan saw Yi Wanwan, he indignantly shouted, "Damn! Liang Meixian, that bitch! She actually stole your ring then framed you for it. Isn't she too shameless? Simply too shameful. Thank goodness your name was carved inside the ring. Otherwise, you would be wronged to death. Wan Wan, don't feel sad. News of this incident will spread to every corner of our circle tomorrow. See how she'll live inside the circle now. Yi Wan Wan nonchalantly glanced at Yi Mufan from the corners of her eyes. Who said she stole my ring? Yi Mufan was startled. Huh? Didn't you say she didn't steal it? I framed her, Yi Wan Wan answered. What did you say? You framed her? Yi Mufan was dumbfounded and dazedly asked, Then what's up with the name inside the ring? Yi Wan Wan raised her eyebrows. I engraved it with my fingernail. Yi Mufan's face darkened. Don't joke with me. Yi Wan Wan smiled but didn't leave him hanging anymore and said, The ring that went missing really was Yi Yi's engagement ring, but the ring with the engraved name is mine. As Yi Wan Wan said that, she reached for Yi Mufan's suit and a jade ring appeared on her palm in the next second. This is... Yi Mufan's eyes widened. Yi Wan Wan turned the ring to show the inside to Yi Mufan. There wasn't anything carved inside of it. This ring with nothing engraved is Yi Yi's. When Huang Mingkuan put it inside my bag, I took it out and moved it to you. As for the ring inside my bag, it's a ring with my name engraved that I prepared ahead of time. Damn! Yi Mufan was stupefied. There's this kind of operation too. So you were framing Liang Meixian all along? Yi Wan Wan nodded. Yup. Yi Mufan, your acting skills deceived even me, alright? Yi Wan Wan raised her brows. Is it hard to deceive you? Yi Mufan choked. How did you know to prepare this beforehand? Yi Wan Wan thought about it and offhandedly said, I have my methods, so I got some news ahead of time. In truth, this was the same trick that Yi Yi and Liang Meixian used in her previous life. However, Si Yihan didn't allow her to attend the engagement banquet back then, so their victim was Yi Mufan instead of her. It was later that she heard Yi Mufan stole Yi Yi's engagement ring during her engagement banquet and refused to admit it after being discovered and broke into a fight. Yi Mufan's reputation was bad from the beginning, so he was akin to a street rat after this event. After her rebirth, many things changed due to the butterfly effect, so she couldn't accurately predict many things. However, she made preparations ahead of time for security. Thankfully it came in handy. No matter how fate evolved, a person's nature wouldn't change. Yi Yi and her mother really wouldn't rest. They merely changed the victim to the seemingly weaker Yi Wan Wan. Chapter 1079, If you want to accomplish something, you have to pay particular attention to whether the time and conditions are favorable. The eldest branch's reputation was too terrible before, but we've been improving our reputation. Grandpa and Grandma's opinion is getting more and more biased. Now, we're prepared but lack a crucial element. Gaining people's favor is the first step, but our strength is the most important part. For the next step, we must put on a magnificent show, Yi Wan Wan said. Yi Mufan nodded. Your predictions are completely right, Wan Wan. This was why Grandpa called me into his study. Grandpa already promised me a chance as long as I have some achievements to show off. That's good. The following period will be vital. We mustn't lower our guard. Don't worry, Wan Wan. I'll work overtime and keep a close watch. Yi Mufan was talking as Yi Wan Wan's phone suddenly rang. It was a very particular ring tone, piercing as a siren. Whose message is it? What the hell is up with this ringtone? Why is it like a police siren? Yi Mufan asked curiously when he heard this weird noise. As soon as Yi Wan Wan heard the ringtone, she scrambled to take her phone out. My boyfriend's message. Yi Mufan, do you need to set such a terrifying ringtone for your boyfriend? Yi Wan Wan, of course I do. Yi Wan Wan immediately called Si Yihan back. Hey, honey, I'm done here. I'll come back now. Sleep first with our son. Yi Mufan, son, do you have to say it so naturally? After Yi Wan Wan finished her call, Yi Mufan mumbled, that child hasn't left yet? How long do you plan to let him stay? If they still can't find her, do you plan to keep letting him stay with you? Yi Wanwan blinked. Why not? Tang Tang is so good. Anyway, it's not like I can't afford to raise him. Yi Mufan was speechless. That's not the point, alright? He's not your child after all. Why would you keep raising him? Nonsense. He's my child. Yi Mufan. Little House of Rose, Si Yihan sat on the sofa in the living room with a book in his hands. Slaughter was laying on the carpet next to the sofa and dozing off while a fair and adorable child laid against the giant white tiger. The child was sitting properly the whole time, but perhaps due to extreme fatigue, his eyes were sleepy and hazy and his body was swaying. He rubbed his eyes occasionally. Si Yihan randomly laid a pink blanket over him and would reach out to support him every time the child fell from his sleepiness. Do you want to sleep? Si Yihan asked Tang Tang. The little fella immediately shook his head. I want to wait for mommy. Si Yihan didn't say anything else. The little fella had his eyes half closed as he sleepily laid on Great White and muttered, Great White, where's mommy? Why isn't mommy back yet? When will mommy come back? Will she still love me when she comes back? Will she still want me? Si Yihan, Great White opened his eyes and glanced at the child laying on him before promptly closing his eyes again. After a while, Great White's ears perked up and he looked toward the main door. After getting out of the car, Yi Wanwan sprinted straight into the living room and was intending to go upstairs to the bedroom. However, she saw this incredibly heartwarming scene upon opening the door, and her heart jolted. Chapter 1080. As soon as Tang Tang heard Yi Wanwan's voice, he immediately rubbed his eyes and shot up before rapidly waddling over to his mother. Mommy. The little fella tilted his head up and joyfully looked at her with his large, sparkling eyes. Mommy, you're back. Yi Wanwan patted the child's head. Why aren't you asleep yet? Tang Tang childishly said, I wanted to wait for mommy to come back. Yi Wanwan felt both moved and heartache. She turned to Si Yihan and said, Ajo, why didn't you stop him? His body is growing right now, how can you let him sleep so late? Si Yihan dryly said, don't do to others what you wouldn't have them do to you. Yi Wanwan, in other words, he also wanted to wait for her to come back, so he didn't force Tang Tang. Her baby's style of honeyed words was really, as roundabout as usual. The next day, Mu Suifeng's trip to China was coming to an end, and he was returning home. Yi Wanwan followed Si Yihan to escort him to the airport. Mu Suifeng chatted with Si Yihan for a while. Then he turned to Yi Wanwan and said politely, Thank you for Chairman Si's magnificent hospitality. Miss Yi, in particular, has made me feel like this trip was worth it. Yi Wanwan looked humbled. You flatter me, Mr. Mu. Mu Suifeng quickly said, Don't be humble, Miss Yi. These are my earnest feelings. Being able to see someone as martially talented as Miss Yi outside of Independent State has truly made me pleasantly surprised. Si Yihan's eyes flashed imperceptibly. When Yi Wanwan heard Independent State, her eyes brightened. She exclaimed eagerly, Ever since you mentioned Independent State last time, I've been very curious about it. I really want to visit and broaden my world if I have the chance. Mu Suifeng chuckled. Well, I'm afraid that's impossible, eh? Why is it impossible? Yi Wanwan didn't understand. Mu Suifeng answered. Normal people can't casually enter and leave the Independent State. It requires a special permit. It's like how we need a passport and visa if we go to other countries. If you rashly intrude and are discovered, you might even lose your life. The Independent State's power is truly too great. If it's overly exposed in the outside world, it might attract great trouble, so normal people can't casually enter it. This is the rule established by the Independent State. So it's like that. Yi Wanwan nodded upon hearing that and couldn't help but find it regrettable. No wonder the outside world was completely ignorant about the Independent State, and it was like an entirely independent underground kingdom here. After sending Mu Suifeng away, Yi Wanwan sat in the car listlessly and complained to Si Yihan. Ah, how regrettable. I thought I could vacation there. It turns out I can't. Si Yihan glanced at her. You really want to go? Yi Wanwan keenly detected a hint of danger in Si Yihan's eyes and quickly shook her head. No, and no. I don't want to go anywhere. However, Si Yihan evidently didn't believe her. When Yi Wanwan saw the man's seemingly icy but uneasy expression, she chuckled and laid a kiss on his lips. Fine, fine, I'll admit it. I do want to go, but I also want to go to many, many places. After all, a person's life is but a mere few decades long, so I want to travel the world and see nature's beauty with my own eyes. However, Yi Wanwan glanced at him. However, after meeting you, I think, it's fine to pause a bit too. The emotions in Si Yihan's eyes trembled and he fiercely pulled her into his arms. A moment later, the man's extremely stifled voice was heard. Don't lie to me again. Yi Wanwan was startled. Huh? Why would I? It's the truth, okay? What did Si Yihan mean by again just now? Could it be that I've lied to him before? That's impossible, right? How can I possibly have the guts to deceive Si Yihan? Chapter 1081. Soon, the campus portion of A Life and Death Struggle came to an end. Today marked the final scene in the campus portion. The director, Lu Qing, said worriedly, Director Yi, I'm afraid, the latter scenes won't be easy to shoot. Are you sure Gong Su can act them well? This film signified whether he could reverse his fate, so he naturally attached great importance to this too. Lu Qing was previously an actor. Although he worked incredibly hard, his appearance wasn't remarkable, so he couldn't climb up the ladder and could only dwell in the lowest rung of the entertainment industry. Later, he had no choice but to change careers and become a director behind the scenes. Lu Qing was inherently talented and also worked hard. After he switched careers, he shot a few art films that garnered decent ratings but didn't explode in popularity, so he spent all of his savings that he amassed when he was an actor. Yi Wanwan had seen Lu Qing's films before and knew he was very capable, but unfortunately, he didn't know how to choose a good screenplay and actors. Although he didn't choose a good screenplay the past few times, there were also issues with the actors. Global Entertainment had reconciled with them on the surface but kept setting up obstructions for them secretly. Hence, it was difficult for them to find a suitable director, and they weren't capable of inviting famous directors. Yi Wanwan took a long time searching before she found Lu Qing. Thankfully, Lu Qing was very professional during the shooting, which proved she hadn't misjudged him. Yi Wanwan said, It'll be fine, Director Lu. Finish shooting this initial portion first. I will take Gong Su and Luo Chen for special training next week, and we'll continue shooting after we return. You can examine the effects then. Lu Qing might be worried, but he nodded upon seeing Yi Wanwan's confident expression. All right, I understand. A little distance away, Gong Su had just finished shooting a scene. He was taking advantage of his break to run around with his phone and do mysterious things. He had Dong Zai hold his phone for him and sprinted toward Han Xianyu. Tell me. Who is more handsome, Han Xianyu or me? Han Xianyu saw that Gong Su appeared to be holding a live stream with the fans on his phone, so he chuckled lightly and waved to the fans in the live stream as he greeted, Hello, everyone. Aw. Han Xianyu. It's Han Xianyu. My God. Little angel Xianyu is too handsome. When Gong Su saw the barrage of comments on the bullet screen, his face darkened. Hey! Just whose fans are you? Tell me who's more handsome. You're handsome, you're handsome. Baby Su, you're the most handsome. Don't be jealous, okay? We want to see Luo Chen. Luo Chen. Luo Chen. Baby Su, how about you go and hit on Luo Chen? Ah. That's right, that's right. Go hit on Luo Chen, I beg you. This chapter is scrapped from Read Light Novel. Orc Gong Su's face turned darker when he saw the bullet screen. He harumphed. No. Who'd want to go hit on that coffin face? Baby Sue is being prideful again. Be good, Baby Sue. Go on, go on. His fans were all crazily flooding the bullet screen. Currently, Luo Chen was holding his script and asking Yi Wanwan some questions. He had already gotten used to Yi Wanwan's explanation style, so he frequently went to Yi Wanwan for help. When Gong Su saw that Luo Chen was plastered to Yi Wanwan again, he instantly exploded and rapidly darted over. Dong Zai quickly followed with the phone. When the fans watching the live stream saw Gong Su running toward Luo Chen, they all excitedly flooded the comments and crazily tipped him with gifts. Gong Su irritably glared at Luo Chen when he arrived. Move. Luo Chen frowned. Do you need something? Of course I need something. After saying that, he forcibly pushed Luo Chen to the side and shot toward Yi Wanwan with a bright grin. Brother, can I hit on you? Yi Wanwan glanced at him, speechless. You can't. Tragic sadness instantly overrode Gong Su's face. Why? I already have a partner. Thanks. Chapter 1082. At the same time, at Sandalwood Villa, Yi Wanwan needed to go to the film crew in the morning, so Si Yihan brought Tang Tang over first and ran into Lin Kei and Xie Zhizhi, who came to relax as well. Since they had never seen Si Yihan caring for a child, they found it too novel and shamelessly stuck to him. Xie Zhizhi was playing with his phone, bored, when he suddenly revealed an interested expression. Ajio, I saw something fun, do you want to see? Si Yihan ignored him without surprise. Your little Yi is here too. Xie Zhizhi added. Only then did Si Yihan look over. As soon as Lin Kei heard this, he also joined the party. He's that actor under Yi Wanwan, right? On the phone screen, the fancily dressed actor showed up in front of Yi Wanwan and asked, Brother, can I hit on you? Lin Kei immediately spat out his water. He didn't expect to see such an explosive scene unpredictably. In his surprise, he saw Yi Wanwan answer without any hesitation, I already have a partner. Thanks. Xie Zhizhi sardonically glanced at Si Yihan. PFT, strict upbringing, huh? Lin Kei pursed his lips. It's more like she has a strong desire for survival. What are these? Si Yihan asked when he saw the presents flooding the live stream. Xie Zhizhi answered, oh, these. These are the fans' gifts. The most expensive is a yacht. It requires 13,140 gems, which in Chinese yuan is. Currently, the fans were nearly going crazy from how hard they flooded the bullet screen. Ha ha ha, Baby Sue actually failed. Ah, this little big brother has a very individual personality. Ah. Who is this little big brother? He's too handsome. I know. He's Gong Su's manager, Brother Yi Bai. I saw their company's group photo last time. He's super handsome. Baby Sue, please give more screen time to little big brother Yi Bai. Ah, so unfortunate. Little big brother actually has a girlfriend already. His girlfriend must have rescued the galaxy. Everyone flooded the live stream room with comments about wanting to see Yi Bai. Suddenly, a special effect exploded in the live stream room, someone gifted a yacht. Then, soon after, yachts flooded the screen one after another. The entire room erupted again. A whale actually sent 10 yachts in a row. Damn. Where did this whale come from? 10 yachts? Too terrifying. Their ID is S9, but I've never seen this ID nor is it on the whale chart. I think it's a newly registered account. Gong Su stared at the ID and mumbled with a frown, who is this? I don't think it's my fan. Fans typically like to use their idol's photos or the fan group's icon as their profile icon. Moreover, the diehard fans used IDs like, a kiss for Baby Sue, love Sue, or the like, so this ID was extremely peculiar. When Yi Wanwan accidentally saw the ID, her brows raised instantly. S9. 9th C. Si Yihan. But why would Si Yihan watch something like a live stream and also send gifts? No more. No more. Today's live stream will end here. Upon seeing that his fans all wanted to see Yi Bai, Gong Su had Dong Zai turn the live stream offline. That fan just now, Yi Wanwan rubbed her chin. Gong Su ran over and asked, "What fan?" "The fan who sent the yachts just now." "I think it's my boyfriend." Gong Su's face turned as black as the bottom of a pan. Why do I have to suffer a public display of affections from two men? Chapter 1083. 1083. As Yi Wanwan said that, she sent a message to Si Yihan. All that the message said was, S9. Si Yihan quickly replied, "Yeah." Yi Wanwan chuckled at his reply. "Why were you watching Gong Su's live stream?" Si Yihan, "I ran into Xiezhiji." Realization dawned on Yi Wanwan. No wonder. Like she was saying, why would Si Yihan watch something like this? Although Gong Su couldn't see Yi Wanwan's messages, he could guess its contents based on her gentle smile. He felt like he had swallowed shit. Hey, brother Yi, enough already. So freaking aggravating. No wonder I thought the ID, S9, was weird. Why do I feel like I've become the third wheel in my own live stream room? Gong Su complained indignantly. Yi Wanwan glanced at Gong Su and said, "You've profited from the 10 yachts." Gong Su wailed as he grabbed a nearby cushion and harshly bit into it. "I don't want those gifts at all right? It's not enough to pay for my psychological damage. You're awful. You know full well that I'm suffering from one-sided lovesickness and can't be provoked. Don't you know you should cherish little animals?" Cherish little animals, Yi Wanwan's mouth twitched. She immediately coughed and turned serious. Fine, no more joking. Let's talk about official business. I previously told you that you and Luo Chen would have to start your special training after this scene finished shooting, do you remember? Gong Su carelessly said, "I remember. I can start whenever." Upon seeing that Gong Su was completely unaware of the danger looming ahead, Yi Wanwan kindly reminded him, "The special training this time will be painstaking, so mentally prepare yourself." Gong Su pursed his lips. How painstaking? Could it be more painstaking than going to the countryside and getting a transformation? Yi Wanwan was at a loss for words. This was truly a young master who had never experienced life's hardships. The most painstaking thing he had done was undergoing a transformation in the countryside. The only thing she worried about this film was that Gong Su couldn't persist. Yi Wanwan sternly instructed him, "Drop your careless attitude. You're turning into a professional special forces soldier in the latter portion of this film, so I arranged extremely strict special training for you. Everything is according to professional standards." Gong Su confidently said, "Brother Yi, how could you have so little faith in me?" "Don't worry, for little candied plum, I don't care even if I have to climb a mountain of swords and plunge into a sea of flames. What's some minor hardship in the face of love? It's all nothing." Yi Wanwan relaxed slightly upon seeing Gong Su brimming with motivation and strength. She hoped that this punk would really be as reliable as he claimed to be so that her bet wouldn't be wasted. A few days later, the campus portion successfully wrapped up with shooting, and Yi Wanwan took Gong Su and Luo Chen to the Special C training grounds in C City, near Imperial City. Special C was a special forces unit in C City's military base. They only managed to collaborate with the special forces and gained permission for Gong Su and Luo Chen to come and personally experience training due to their decent script and Yi Mufan's many connections. Of course, it was only basic training, but to normal people, especially celebrities who lived like royalty typically, it was more than enough. "Instructor Lei, thank you for your trouble." Yi Wanwan handed Luo Chen and Gong Su to the military instructor who came to receive them. Luo Chen's basics are fine, but Gong Su's physique might be a bit poor. "I'll leave them in your hands, Instructor Lei. Don't worry, leave them to us." Chapter 1084. 1084 Gong Su mumbled with displeasure, Brother Yi, how am I worse than Luo Chen? I regularly work out, alright? Look at my abs, look. As Gong Su said this, he pulled his shirt up and revealed his proud abs. Yi Wanwan's mouth twitched wordlessly. She intentionally goaded him with ridicule, you think this is awesome? Your abs are nowhere near the level of Luo Chen when he trained with his martial arts teacher. As soon as Gong Su heard this, he flew off the handle. Hey! You've seen Luo Chen's? When? Where? You bastard, you really used underhanded techniques while I was gone. You're terrible. Yi Wanwan, this guy's point of focus. Luo Chen took a step back surreptitiously, evidently not wanting to be infected with Gong Su's idiocy. However, he couldn't help but recall the day when Yi Wanwan officially started managing him. Back then, Brother Yi wanted him to strip so she could see his physique and arrange a suitable workout and training program for him. He acted like a knave who used his own yardstick to measure the motive of an upright man and nearly suspected Brother Yi to be the same as Zhou Wenbin. With that thought, Luo Chen couldn't help but be ashamed and his ears blushed. Yi Wanwan rolled her eyes at Gong Su. It was when I just started managing Luo Chen. You didn't exist to me back then, okay? Gong Su instantly nestled into a corner and started planting mushrooms. I knew it. I knew I would never measure up to Luo Chen in your heart. Is it because he came earlier than me? I trusted the wrong person back then, I'm also very pitiful. Why are you discriminating against me? When Yi Wanwan saw that this punk was acting up again, she kicked him irritably. Stand up. If you normally act at the level you displayed just now, you wouldn't have to worry about whether you could get Best Actor. As soon as Gong Su heard this, his eyes brightened. Oh, Brother Yi, I knew you had high hopes for me. I will obtain Best Actor for sure with my acting skills. Yi Wanwan, I wasn't complimenting him in the slightest just now, alright? How does his brain work? Gong Su and Luo Chen's training before the next portion mainly comprised of wrestling, shooting, firearms, mine clearance, skydiving, etc. It covered quite a broad range, and it would be more than enough for the next portion of shooting if they could learn it adeptly. Because it was the first day, Yi Wanwan followed them. Instructor Lei quickly led the three of them to a training ground. Gong Su was curious about everything the entire way and skipped his way to the training grounds. When he arrived at the location, Gong Su's bright and sunny face instantly turned stormy and thunderous. Before them, there was a giant quagmire with an electric wire net above it. A few dozen soldiers were strenuously crawling through the quagmire, mud soaking them from head to toe and hiding their original appearance. If they lifted their bodies even the tiniest bit, they would cry piteously from being electrocuted by the electric wires. This exciting. Gong Su touched his new carefully chosen sakura pink hairstyle, his limited edition hoodie, and his soft and tender face. He subconsciously took a step back. Yi Wanwan reacted immediately and latched onto the back of Gong Su's hoodie. Why are you running? Brother Yi, I think it's just acting, we don't need to be so serious, right? Gong Su belatedly realized the scariness of the training. Didn't you say you would climb a mountain of swords and plunge into a sea of flames for little candied plum before coming here? That's right. I said I'd climb a mountain of swords and plunge into a sea of flames, not this. Gong Su righteously exclaimed. Yi Wanwan, where's your integrity? Chapter 1085, Ah. Brother Yi, I won't go. Trust in my acting skills. Even if I don't personally experience it, I can still act it perfectly. As Gong Su said that, he kept struggling and scampering back. Yi Wanwan was speechless. Even professional actors don't dare to say that, so where do you get your confidence? It's exactly because your acting skills are too awful that I specifically sent you here. You must put everything you have into it and become a true soldier. You have to do it to the point that even without acting, you're a soldier. Understand? Gong Su was sullen. Yo, your concubine, I can't do it. Yi Wanwan pinched her eyebrows and turned to Instructor Lei. Can I talk to him? Instructor Lei was evidently not too pleased either when he saw this delicate and spoiled young master, so he nodded and agreed, you can. Yi Wanwan glared at Gong Su. Come over, we need to have a nice talk. Brother Yi, can we talk when we get home? No. I want to go home. Yi Wanwan dragged Gong Su to a nearby corner. Gong Su, let me ask you, why did you want to enter the entertainment industry in the beginning? Yi Wanwan asked. Gong Su pouted and muttered, why else, because it's fun. Yi Wanwan stared at him as though she wanted to see through the person in front of her. Gong Su might look like a carefree young master without any worries, but the situation with the Gong family wasn't that simple in reality. Gong Su's older brother and younger brother were both birthed by his stepmother. His biological mother died from an illness early on. Then his father gave official status to his mistress and brought back a son older than Gong Su. After the woman entered the family, she birthed another son for Father Gong and further stabilized her position. One of Gong Su's two half-brothers helped their father manage the company while the other was a medical prodigy, so they were both greatly liked by their father. Only Gong Su was a hedonistic playboy who caused trouble day and night and didn't do anything serious even after entering the entertainment industry and continued to wreak havoc. Causing trouble, wreaking havoc, entering the entertainment industry, he did all of this simply because he wanted to be noticed and loved, didn't he? The people from the entertainment industry acted without restraint after the Gong family released notice that they wouldn't care about him anymore because the industry knew the internal state of the Gong family. They knew the Gong family was currently controlled by his stepmother and two brothers and that Gong Su was entirely excluded. Yi Wanwan looked at him harshly. Then do you plan to keep playing like this? Yes, you're still young, so you can play. You can play around intimately with a lot of girls since your heart's never been moved. But what if you encounter a girl that you truly like one day? How will you introduce yourself to her? Do you want her to see all of your dark history as soon as she looks you up? Do you want everything to be filled with romantic gossip and photos of your rumored ex-girlfriends? Gong Su's fingers unconsciously clenched. There isn't an if, there's already a girl I truly like, Yi Wanwan sighed. Alright then, let me ask you again. What's your life plan? If you merely want to be an idol, then you should have protected your personal image and managed your private life and shouldn't have done anything to damage your character. However, you've done all of this already. Yi Wanwan paused before continuing. If you want to be an actor, then you have to demonstrate your abilities and professionalism. Gong Su stared at Yi Bai's stern expression as he was lectured. Yi Bai's face looked so captivating and serious as he focused on him. For some reason, Gong Su felt his body heating up, and redness crawled over his delicate skin. Damn! I'm going to turn gay. Chapter 1086, Ah! What's happening? Why's my heart beating so fast? Why do I feel like I can't pull my eyes away from Yi Bai? Why do I gladly want to be scolded a few more times even though I'm being pulverized? I'm afraid I'm going to turn gay. No. No. I'm 100% straight. I'm straighter than steel. It must be because Yi Bai looks too similar to little candied plum. When Yi Wanwan saw that Gong Su was lost in thought, she angrily kicked him. Did you hear what I said? Shit. Why am I so happy even from being kicked? Am I crazy? Gong Su muttered, I won't go. Veins protruded from Yi Wanwan's forehead. Fine. You won't go, huh? Then I'll find someone else to take your place. Ah, no. Gong Su immediately latched onto Yi Wanwan's moving calf. He grievously cried out, Brother Yi, how could you do that? Can't you coax me more? Yi Wanwan's lips twitched. How old are you? Why do you still need to be coaxed? Gong Su, I'm still a baby, Yi Wanwan. Gong Su's head was downcast, and he looked like a lost puppy. He knelt there and glanced up. Brother Yi, what do you think I should do? Yi Wanwan immediately replied, you should obediently start training and act in this film well. Gong Su felt deceived. You just wanted to trick me into rolling in the mud. Yi Wanwan rolled her eyes at him. Do you think it's easy to get Best Actor? Shouldn't you know better? You only know how to treat me so badly, yet you're so gentle with Luo Chen every time. Gong Su knew Yi Wanwan's personality, so he didn't dare to go overboard. So, he compromised and said, I can obediently start training, but can I make a request? Yi Wanwan knew what he wanted to say with a look. Don't bother. You can't see little candied plum yet. This guy's emotions were turbulent like a roller coaster. Who knew what he would do when he learned the truth? Gong Su promptly knelt on the ground, full of despair. Will I never see little candied plum in my life? Gong Su buried his head between his knees and quietly mumbled, I know. I know you've spent a lot of effort on me, Brother Yi. The only reason I was able to act in the first half of the film was because I was playing myself. However, in the second half, I know I can't get Best Actor. Why did I say I would eat shit if I didn't get Best Actor? Even wearing female clothes would be better. Why didn't you think about the consequences before you said that then? Yi Wanwan was speechless. Gong Su, it just came out of my mouth. Yi Wanwan glanced at Gong Su and knew she still had to add some fuel. Gong Su liked to play games the most. Since it was like that, Yi Wanwan's gaze shifted. How about this, let's have a bet between the two of us too. Gong Su looked at her immediately. What bet? If you lose and don't get Best Actor, you crossdress, Yi Wanwan said. And if I win? Gong Su promptly asked. Yi Wanwan said without any hesitation, if you win, then I will dress as a girl. Gong Su's eyes shot open. Damn. We're going this far. Do you accept the bet? Yi Wanwan asked with raised brows when she saw Gong Su's enthusiasm. Gong Su stared at Yi Wanwan and imagined him dressed as a girl with a dazed expression. Then, his ears turned boiling red inexplicably. Gong Su rubbed his face and hastily returned to his senses. I accept. If I win, you dress as a girl. You said it yourself. Chapter 1087, 1087 Yi Wanwan chuckled. That's right, I said it. Can I take your word for it? Gong Su asked with uncertainty. When have I ever gone back on my word? Gong Su finally believed it, and his listless appearance disappeared without a trace. He put his hands on his lips and recovered his arrogance. Ahahaha. Not only can I see little candied plum, but I can also see Brother Yi dressed as a girl. I will fucking obtain Best Actor even if I lose my life. Yi Wanwan was speechless as she watched Gong Su's invigorated appearance. Unsurprisingly, the chicken noodle soup method was useless against Gong Su. She had to use special methods. Whatever, I'll dress as a girl. I was planning to tell Gong Su the truth after this film finished shooting anyway. Gong Su eagerly dug out his phone and rushed to the company's WeChat group to gloat about it before his phone was confiscated. Gong Su, ha 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 ha. Let me tell you, this young master is going to get Best Actor for sure. I'll shred anyone who dares to steal it from me into pieces. Dong Zai, do your best, Brother Su. Shao Qing, Brother Su is awesome. Han Xianyu, you've arrived. Looking at the time, they should have arrived at the location. Based on Han Xianyu's understanding of Gong Su, he would give up after arriving there, so why was he so excited instead? Gong Su, ha ha ha, we've arrived. Yi Mufan, what's wrong with you this time? When Yi Mufan saw Gong Su going crazy again, he felt exasperated. Gong Su, ha ha ha, brothers. You should all hurry, go to a temple, light some incense and pray that I'll get Best Actor. Brother Yi made a bet with me just now. He said he'll dress as a girl if I get Best Actor. The group was oddly quiet for a few seconds before it exploded all at once. Shao Qing, heavens. Really? Brother Yi will dress as a girl? Dong Zai, Brother Yi is really staking everything. Fei Yang, why are my expectations so high for some reason? This does deserve some incense lighting. Screenwriter Su Lin, director Ye's sacrifice is too great this time. Yi Mufan, Yi Bai, are you crazy? Front desk, aw. My god. Have we formed a group to light some incense yet? Makeup artist, take me, take me. Logistics, I also want to visit a temple with the group. I pray baby Su will get best actor. This is too thrilling. Director Lu Qing, take me as well, haha. Leading lady Lin Zishan, Gong Su, don't worry, I'll worship you later. As Yi Wanwan led Gong Su back to instructor Lei, she chuckled at the animated discussion in the chat. Luo Chen also saw the group conversation and was somewhat shocked. He didn't expect Brother Yi to agree to this kind of request for Gong Su, so he couldn't help but feel some disappointment. As soon as Gong Su saw Luo Chen, he wrapped his arm around Luo Chen's neck and dragged him to the side. Hey Luo Chen, let's talk. What? Luo Chen disdainfully pushed Gong Su's arm away. Gong Su plastered himself onto Luo Chen like superglue. Don't perform too fiercely while you're acting when we get back. Go easy on me. Luo Chen glanced at him. Why? Gong Su acted matter-of-factly. Don't you want to see Brother Yi in female clothes? There was only one Best Actor award, so Luo Chen was considered a competitor as well. Luo Chen subconsciously glanced at Yi Wanwan, who was talking to instructor Lei before saying, how silly. Gong Su harumphed. You're the silly one. You aren't fun at all. I don't believe you don't want to see it in the slightest. Luo Chen ignored him and went to find a quiet corner. Chapter 1088. After Yi Wanwan had a long conversation with instructor Lei and piled Gong Su with instructions, she saw Luo Chen standing in a corner. She headed toward him. Brother Yi. Luo Chen looked up as soon as he saw Yi Wanwan walking over. Luo Chen, I never have to worry about you, so I don't have anything to tell you. Do your best, alright? Yi Wanwan said. Luo Chen was disappointed. Yi Wanwan was always focused on Gong Su and even promised to dress as a girl for him, but his disappointment completely disappeared when he heard her words. Yes. I will, Brother Yi. After taking Gong Su and Luo Chen to special training, Yi Wanwan's workload finally eased up, allowing her more free time to play with Tang Tang. It was she who wanted to visit Sandalwood Villa but ended up making the father and son wait for a long time due to filming, so they only played for half a day before going home. Yi Wanwan had an idea to make amends. Si Yihan and Tang Tang were already at the Sandalwood Villa. Yi Wanwan first returned to Little House of Rose to retrieve what she prepared and went to the villa with the VIP card Si Yihan gave her. She didn't immediately seek them out after she arrived. Instead, she secretly went to their room with her suitcase. After entering the room, Yi Wanwan opened the suitcase and took out a giant bear costume. Yi Wanwan put on the costume and looked at the giant charming and innocent bear in front of the mirror, incredibly satisfied. I'm so adorable, hee. Tang Tang will definitely like it. Meanwhile, next to the lake at Sandalwood Villa, Si Yihan was sitting under the shade of a tree and fishing while Lin Kei and Xie Zhizhi reclined on the deck chairs next to him. In the nearby forest, Tang Tang was playing with a giant white tiger. He was very well behaved and didn't cry or make a fuss. Lin Kei looked at the fishing Si Yihan before turning to the child playing with his pet. He sighed and said, isn't there something wrong here? You're in the prime of your life and are supposed to be racing cars and partying and having fun, but you're living a retired lifestyle of accompanying your wife and taking care of children, ninth brother. Yet, I actually find it quite nice. It makes me want to go steal a child for some fun. Xie Zhizhi glanced at him and wryly said, please spare the children. Screw you. What about me? Even ninth brother can be a dad, so wouldn't I be a great dad? Lin Kei glanced at his watch. Why isn't that girl here yet? Xie Zhizhi replied, I think she's taking her artists to the troops for special training, so it'll take a while for her to come back. When Lin Kei heard that, he cautiously glanced at Si Yihan before covertly whispering, third Xie, speaking of which, I don't get it. How did that girl do it? All the artists under her are male, but ninth brother still hasn't exploded even though she's been having fun outside for so long. Like that live stream last time. Not only did ninth brother not get angry, but he also gifted 10 yachts to him. I still don't understand. Xiaozhi chuckled and raised his brows. Is it that difficult to understand? Lin Ke instantly retorted, it's absolutely incomprehensible, alright? Utterly strange. As Lin Ke said that, he suddenly noticed a brown bear running toward them from the corners of his eyes. Lin Ke stared at the bear, dumbfounded. What the heck is this? Who entered this place dressed like that? The person in the stuffed bear costume stopped in front of them. Si Yihan noticed the bear from his peripheral vision and looked away from the lake toward the costumed person. Yi Wanwan slightly altered her voice, then she bypassed Lin Ke and Xie Zhizhi and jubilantly bounced toward Si Yihan, little big brother, little big brother. Can I hit on you? Chapter 1089, 1089 Si Yihan, Lin Ke was briefly startled before chortling. He looked at the girl in an animal costume with interest. I say, sister. Isn't your method of flirting a bit too creative? Which family did she come from? So amusing. Yi Wanwan didn't pay any attention to him and continued to excitedly extend her bare paws towards Si Yihan. Lin Ke hadn't seen such an amusing girl in a while, so he couldn't help but tease her. Hey, sister, the one you're hitting on already has a son running around everywhere. Why don't you hit on me instead? I'm single. Yi Wanwan rolled her eyes behind her headpiece and said without any hesitation. No thanks. You're too ugly. As soon as Lin Ke heard that, his eyes bulged out of their sockets. Damn. What did you just say? I'm ugly. Even though he wasn't as good-looking as Si Yihan and Xie Zhizhi, he couldn't be considered remotely ugly, right? This was his first time being called ugly by a girl. Also, why was this girl's tone so familiar when she called him ugly? When Si Yihan heard the toy bear's voice, imperceptible happiness flitted in his eyes. Meanwhile, Xie Zhizhi was cheerfully laughing near them. He glanced at Si Yihan, then the toy bear. Miss, do you know who he is? Yet you dare to hit on him. Words immediately shot out of Yi Wanwan's mouth. Of course I know who he is. He's Si Yihan, my future husband. Xie Zhizhi, Lin Ke was utterly stunned. Damn. Sister, your guts are abnormally large. She knew he was Si Yihan but still had the nerve to flirt with him like this. Even Xie Zhizhi marveled about this. There was someone better at flirting than him. And that person was a girl. Neither of them noticed the spreading gentleness in Si Yihan's eyes. Yi Wanwan toddled a few more steps closer to Si Yihan clumsily. Little big brother, little big brother. Tell me. Can I hit on you? Si Yihan exasperatedly and indulgently glanced at her before extending his arms. Come over here. Joy enveloped Yi Wanwan's face, and she launched herself at him. Si Yihan had his arms full, but he leaned forward to lay a gentle kiss on the bear's head. Lin Ke and Xie Zhizhi were dumbstruck. What was going on? Fuck me. She actually succeeded. Lin Ke's eyes were wide open. Xie Zhizhi rubbed his chin, realization overcoming his expression. Although Si Yihan was kissing the costume, Yi Wanwan felt it more intensely than a direct kiss on her skin. Her forehead inexplicably boiled with heat. Si Yihan, didn't you say you wouldn't get here until the afternoon? I finished ahead of time, so I came early. Yi Wanwan asked with a grin, how did you know it was me? Si Yihan squished her paws and stated matter-of-factly, who else would dare besides you? Yi Wanwan, oh. Ahem, fine, she couldn't refute at all. Si Yihan reached out and took off the bare head. Yi Wanwan's little head was exposed in the next second. The girl had her hair tied in a high bun and had a brilliant smile on her face. Aren't I especially cute? Shit. You. Yi Wanwan. Lin Ke's surprised shout resounded nearby. Fuck me. I knew it. It was this girl. Xiaozhi glanced at the dumbfounded Lin Ke and Riley asked, "Do you now understand why your ninth brother still hasn't exploded yet?" Lin Ke, I understand. I understand too well, this damn girl is too good at making someone happy. Chapter 1090, Where's Tang Tang? Yi Wanwan quickly asked. Si Yihan, in the forest. Yi Wanwan looked in the direction of Si Yihan's finger and hurried to put on her bare head again. I'm going to find Tang Tang. Si Yihan, go on. The girl swiftly dashed off into the distance. As Lin Ke watched Yi Wanwan's disappearing figure, he still looked amazed. No wonder she has such a tight hold on ninth brother. I admit defeat, then he turned to Si Yihan with suspicion. Ninth brother, don't you think? Yi Wanwan's transformation is too drastic. Si Yihan dryly said, I don't. Lin Ke was surprised. Huh? You don't? Si Yihan's eyes were fixed on the direction Yi Wanwan disappeared in. His face was aloof as he said, she was like this all along. Lin Ke was dumbfounded. Like this all along? Are you serious, ninth brother? Xiaozhi's eyes glinted. After a moment of silence, he turned to Si Yihan and said, Audiobook, is your body starting to recover? When Si Yihan heard Xiaozhi's words, his expression darkened instantaneously. Si Yihan's body was clearly starting to recover, but he didn't look happy in the slightest. Lin Ke thought of something and apprehension also crept onto his face. Third Xia, are you saying that if the independent state learns that ninth brother's body recovered? Lin Ke's sentence cut off and he lightly coughed. Ahem, they haven't contacted him in so long, so they shouldn't, right? Xiaozhi shrugged. Who knows what that person's thinking? Some distance away, Yi Wanwan was running toward Tang Tang. Baby, baby. The most cutest and most cleverest and most lovable baby in the world. Can I hug you? Yi Wanwan deepened her voice and intentionally asked in a foolish voice with her head tilted to the side. When Tang Tang saw the toy bear, he was startled briefly before rapidly sprinting toward the bear. Mommy. Yi Wanwan was surprised and recovered her normal voice to ask curiously, Ah, baby, how did you know it's me? Si Yihan deducted it was her through logic, but how did Tang Tang also recognize her at first glance? Tang Tang hugged the bear's legs and looked up. He joyously said, Tang Tang just knew it. Tang Tang would recognize Mommy regardless of how Mommy looks. Yi Wanwan knelt down and hugged the little fellow with her heart drowning in love. Right, because Mommy and Tang Tang's hearts are linked. Yes. Tang Tang nodded frantically. Mommy, you are really cute today. Tang Tang then complimented her wholeheartedly. Hee, right? Does baby like it? Yi Wanwan was incredibly satisfied. I like it. The mother and son were talking when Great White strolled over. As soon as Yi Wanwan saw Great White, her eyes lit up. Great White also came. Yi Wanwan quickly leaped in front of Slaughter. Ha ha ha. Great Whitey, can I hit on you? Roar. Yi Wanwan had just arrived in front of Great White when Great White released a mountain-shaking roar. Yi Wanwan fell onto the ground but first out of fear from the roar. So hurtful. Tang Tang swiftly ran over and protected Yi Wanwan behind him. Great White. Don't be mean. This is Mommy. The white tiger snorted but instantly stopped being mean. Yi Wanwan never expected Great White to have a bane one day. Yi Wanwan's eyes shifted, and she pitifully turned to Tang Tang. Tang Tang. Mommy really wants to touch Great White's paws. Tang Tang immediately looked at the tiger. Great White, paw. Chapter 1091 Yi Wanwan blinked. A simple order for his paw and he'll give his paw. That's impossible, right? And then, in the next second, Yi Wanwan saw Great White's furry and meaty paw extended toward her. Fuck. That worked? No. This is such a good opportunity. I must touch it with my own hands. Yu Wanwan first took off her costume before carefully reaching out to touch the furry paw. Ah, it feels so good. Also, Great White didn't resist at all. He didn't even roar or hiss at me. I'm going to be moved to tears. Speaking of which, why was the difference between people so great? She had curried Great White's favor for more than half a year and was only able to approach him now after feeding him beef for so long. If she wanted to touch him, she had to find a fortuitous day and cleanse herself with a bath. And it all still depended on luck. Yet Tang Tang managed to do it with a single command. Can I touch the other paw too? Yu Wanwan asked eagerly. Tang Tang nodded and said, Great White, other paw. Great White immediately lifted his other paw. Yu Wanwan. He's truly my son. Too awesome. Mommy's very proud. Yu Wanwan put forth another request immediately. Can I pet him for 3 minutes? No, 10 minutes. This time, Tang Tang didn't agree as quickly. Instead, he had his head downcast as he murmured, Can mommy also pet Tang Tang? When Yu Wanwan saw how the little fella had his head hanging down like an abandoned baby animal, she felt her heart exploding from the cuteness. She pulled the little fella into her arms. Of course I can. Mommy likes Tang Tang best. Tang Tang pursed his lips and smiled again. As Yu Wanwan hugged Tang Tang, she couldn't help but chuckle. Tang Tang was too similar to Si Yihan, he got jealous of even Great White. Yu Wanwan kept Tang Tang in her arms as she asked, Tang Tang, do you like mommy? I like mommy. Tang Tang nodded without any hesitation, earnest adoration brimming from his bright eyes. Yu Wanwan rubbed her chin and was in thought for a moment before she probed furtively, do you like me because I'm your mommy? Maybe it was because she liked this child too much that she suddenly asked this question. Did Tang Tang like her because of her as a person, or did he like her because she was his mom? Tang Tang pondered over it and shook his head. Tang Tang liked mommy the first time Tang Tang saw mommy. The first time? Was it when you came to China to find me? Yu Wanwan asked. No. It was the time I had a video call with uncle. I saw mommy in the video. As the little fella said this, his face blushed as though he was shy. Really? You saw me back then? Yu Wanwan was surprised. The little fella looked quite cold in the video, but he surprisingly noticed her too. Yes, mommy's really pretty, Tang Tang nodded with confidence. Yu Wanwan instantly held her face in happiness. Her son was really good with words, just like her. Tang Tang continued. Later, Tang Tang video called uncle several times in order to see mommy. But Tang Tang rarely saw mommy. Tang Tang really missed mommy. When Yu Wanwan saw the little fella's lonely expression, she felt a corner of her heart softening and aching. Then the little fella turned to look at her with extremely bright eyes. Later, uncle told Tang Tang you were Tang Tang's mommy. Tang Tang just knew you were Tang Tang's mommy for sure. Chapter 1092. 1092. When Yu Wanwan heard the little fella's words, she was both moved and conflicted. After all, she wasn't this child's mom. Yu Wanwan suppressed her disappointment and hurried to regain her spirits. She put on the costume again and held the little fella's hand. Tang Tang, let's go. Let's go and find your daddy and have him take a photo for us. Okay. Tang Tang happily held onto Yu Wanwan's bare paw. The costumed bear and child quickly reached Si Yihan with a patter. Yu Wanwan dug out her phone from the chest pocket in front of the costume. Ajo. Help Tang Tang and me take a photo. She really liked to take photos with Tang Tang. Part of it was because she needed to send it to Nameless Nya, but more importantly, she wanted to leave more memories behind. Si Yihan had a gentle expression as he accepted Yu Wanwan's phone. Alright. Si Yihan's photography skills were excellent by now and he quickly finished taking several photos. Every photo was exquisite like a magazine shot and the composition was all according to the golden ratio. After he finished taking the photos, Yi Wanwan took the phone and skimmed them with satisfaction. Then she walked toward Lin Kei and Xie Zhizhi and picked Xie Zhizhi. Best actor Xie, can you please help us take a group photo? Xie Zhizhi accepted the phone and willingly agreed, of course, it'd be my honor. Lin Kei had a gloomy cloud floating above his head and a resentful aura emitting from him. Did I come here for a vacation or torture? Today, Yi Wanwan and her family had a fun day while Lin Kei and Xie Zhizhi had turned into photographers and dog food eaters. In the end, even Xie Zhizhi couldn't handle it anymore. Both of them decided they would never be curious again and would avoid them. After they returned home that night, Yi Wanwan combed through the photos and edited some before sending them all to nameless Nye. Nye Hollow Pit, ah. So adorable. My Empress Dowager will definitely like them. Also, the little devil was indulging in pleasure and forgot everything else. Truly too wonderful. Yi Wanwan hesitated for a long time before sending nameless Nye a message. Yi Wanwan probed, is there any news of Tang Tang's parents yet? Nameless Nye replied to her immediately, you don't need to worry at all, Sister Famous Yi. I definitely won't trouble you for too long. I have some leads already, so I believe I'll have good news very soon. When Yi Wanwan saw nameless Nye's reply, she wasn't too happy. I can't relax at all right? Why is he acting so fast? Yi Wanwan, you can take your time, no rush. Nye Hollow Pit, Sister Famous Yi, believe me. I've really made major progress, I just can't reveal the details to you. I guarantee I'll pick up Tang Tang within 3 months and won't bother you any longer. Yi Wanwan was about to be angered to death. Nye Hollow Pit, Sister Famous Yi, thank you so much for this. If it weren't for you calming the little devil, I'm afraid he would be madly running all over the world by himself right now. If anything happened to the little devil, my parents would seriously kill me. Yi Wanwan listlessly responded, no need to thank me. I like Tang Tang quite a bit. Nye Hollow Pit, I really don't understand why you'd like that little devil. Upon seeing how nameless Nye kept calling Tang Tang a little devil, Yi Wanwan clenched her teeth in anger. If you call my son a little devil again, I'll take him to get a haircut in the first month of the lunar year. Nameless Nye answered with confusion, huh? Why does he have to have a haircut in the first month of the lunar year? Yi Wanwan fiercely typed back, getting a haircut in the first month of the lunar year will cause his uncle's death. Nye Hollow Pit, isn't that too cruel? Chapter 1093, Nye Hollow Pit, Sister Famous Yi, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Anyway, don't worry. I'll find Tang Tang's parents ASAP. Yi Wanwan, you don't need to be in such a rush. Really? Nye Hollow Pit, Sister Famous Yi, you don't believe me? 3 months, no, 2 months, no. I can find them in a month. Yi Wanwan quivered with anger. Where were this guy's brains? She was already being so direct about it, but he still didn't understand. Yi Wanwan hugged her pillow and laid on the bed, inwardly fuming with anger. Forget about it. Even if Tang Tang's biological parents were found, it didn't mean she wouldn't see him ever again. She could still be his godmother. Although she comforted herself like that, she could still feel her heart itching in all sort of ways when she thought about how Tang Tang would become someone else's son. Yi Wanwan rolled around on the bed several times before she calmed down. She picked up the phone and started skimming through the entertainment news to distract herself. At first, she was looking through the news casually, but then a piece of news piqued her interest. Director Peng Yuan, whose masterpiece Jasmine still hasn't found a suitable leading actress after half a year of auditions. Director Peng stated he will start searching for new potential talents from the major theater schools. Ah. Peng Yuan who? Jasmine, Yi Wanwan searched through her memories. This film did vaguely ring a bell. Nothing needed to be said about Peng Yuan who, everyone knew his name in the entertainment industry. Elder Peng was as weighty as empty Tai and was as brilliant as the Big Dipper in the film industry. Every film of his was a fine piece of work, and his arms overflowed with all sorts of awards domestically and internationally. He witnessed the entire history of the movie and television industry in China. However, the fate of Peng Yuanhu's Jasmine was full of trouble and misfortune. Peng Yuanhu was a strict perfectionist and held extremely high standards for the quality of his work. Hence, he was unwilling to compromise about anything. In her previous life, Peng Yuanhu couldn't find the perfect female lead for 2 whole years, so the film kept being pushed back until Peng Yuanhu passed away. From an entertainment article that Yu Wanwan read in her previous life, Peng Yuanhu expressed on his sickbed that being unable to film Jasmine was his biggest regret. If Jasmine was successfully filmed back then, it definitely would have been another immortal classic. Unfortunate, there was no if. Thinking up to this point, Yu Wanwan was about to close the page when her fingers suddenly paused. Wait. Who said there was an if? Yu Wanwan swiftly read the overall plot of Jasmine in the news article. This movie was a period film. The female protagonist was a dancer. The change of an era in China was illustrated through the female protagonist, from vibrant youth to bloody wartime to peaceful epoch. Yu Wanwan only speculated a bit to figure out the type of female lead director Peng wanted. First of all, the female lead must have a natural and pure appearance, preferably with a vintage look. It couldn't be one of those plastic surgery faces that littered the streets. However, she couldn't be too beautiful. For example, someone like Yu Wanwan herself wouldn't fit the character. Also, the female lead had to have a solid dance background. Finally, there was the acting itself. After all, there was a large leap between the beginning and the ending of this film. The female lead had to progress from a youth to a senior and live through an entire era, so she definitely couldn't do it without adept acting skills. After Yu Wanwan ran through these requirements, a candidate instantly surfaced in her mind. Jiang Yanran. With that thought, Yu Wanwan sprang up from the bed. The more she thought about it, the more suitable she found Jiang Yanran. She previously didn't sign Jiang Yanran on partially because she wanted Jiang Yanran to learn her fundamentals first. It was also because their company hadn't been able to obtain suitable scripts for her with their current capabilities and resources. For example, A Life and Death Struggle was a film focused on the male protagonists, and the female protagonist had very little screen time, so it didn't suit her. However, Jasmine was simply tailored for Jiang Yanran. Chapter 1094. Whether it was her appearance, dance training, or acting skills, Jiang Yanran perfectly fulfilled all of the requirements. And the film just happened to be holding auditions in all the major theater and film schools next month, so this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yu Wanwan immediately called Jiang Yanran. The phone was picked up quickly, and Jiang Yanran's happy voice came through the receiver. Hey, Wanwan. Yanran, how have you been lately? Did you finish your end-of-term exams? I'm done. The results just came out. I'm the number 1 in my major at school, the girl jubilantly reported to her. Yu Wanwan gently chuckled. That's awesome. I'll take you out for some good food. You said it yourself, not me. Right, isn't your school on break yet? When are your exams? Jiang Yanran asked. They start next week. I see. Then, are you going to do your grade skipping exam and graduation thesis together? Yup. Yu Wanwan said. Yu Wanwan applied for early graduation as soon as she entered school. However, Imperial Media required its students to finish studying at least 1 year of courses before they could take a grade-skipping exam, so she had to wait until now. Then won't I see you even less from now on? Can I still come see you when I have questions? Jiang Yanran asked sulkily. Whenever she encountered problems in her program, she asked Yu Wanwan. Yu Wanwan could hit the nail on the head, find the solution right away and tell her how to solve it. She was truly fortunate compared to her classmates and almost never went on any detours. After all, if they studied incorrectly in the initial stages of learning, it would be very hard for them to fix it later on in their acting careers. Yu Wanwan chuckled. Of course you can. I'm merely graduating, not emigrating. I always welcome your questions. You're my reserve trump card. When Jiang Yanran heard that, she turned more sullen. Then when will you sign me on? Truthfully speaking, I really don't care about any of the things you mentioned. I just want to work with you. Yi Wanwan's eyes softened, and she gently said, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. It'll be unclear over the phone, so let's meet up tomorrow. Sure. Jiang Yanran agreed. Oh, right, I can bring the special edition signed photograph of Han Xianyu in professor clothes that you wanted last time. I forgot to give it to you before. Yi Wanwan suddenly remembered. Ah, okay, Jiang Yanran answered. When Yi Wanwan heard that, she sharply detected that Jiang Yanran's tone wasn't as enthusiastic as before for some reason. Did she finally shift her focus onto Chu Feng? That guy is probably crazy with joy, right? After settling the details with Jiang Yanran, Yi Wanwan hung up. If everything was successful, this film might make it in time for this year's Golden Orchid Awards. This accidental realization improved her previously gloomy mood a lot, and her spirits lifted as she started to write her graduation thesis. Dong dong dong. There was a knock on the door. Yi Wanwan quickly called out, enter. Mommy, it's Tang Tang. Tang Tang's voice came from outside the door. Mommy's coming. Yi Wanwan hurried to open the door. Mommy, are you busy? Tang Tang glanced at the notebook, laptop, and pile of papers sitting on the desk. That's right, Mommy needs to do her homework. Yi Wanwan answered. Tang Tang docilely nodded. Then hurry and do your homework, Mommy. Tang Tang will go play by himself and won't disturb Mommy. Ah, don't. Yi Wanwan instantly hugged the child. Doing homework is so boring. Baby Tang Tang, keep Mommy company. Ah, I really want to always be with Tang Tang. Chapter 1095. Tang Tang was hesitant. Wouldn't I disturb Mommy? Yi Wanwan hastily said. You won't. You definitely won't. With you by Mommy's side, Mommy will be incredibly motivated. But Mommy is worried you'll be bored, the little fella frantically shook his head. Tang Tang won't get bored. Tang Tang likes to be with Mommy. The mother and son duo entered the room. Yi Wanwan sat in front of the desk and sifted through the information required to write her thesis while Tang Tang obediently sat close to her and watched her intently. Whenever she got tired, she would pinch Tang Tang's cheeks and have Tang Tang give her a loving kiss. This was the first time Yi Wanwan realized that slaving over a thesis could be this enjoyable. Si Yihan had shown up by the door at some point and was silently watching the mother and son. Later that night, after Yi Wanwan coaxed Tang Tang to sleep, she happily told Si Yihan, Tang Tang baby is too cute. With Tang Tang baby by my side giving me loving kisses, I feel like I can fight 100 more rounds. As Si Yihan tucked Tang Tang into bed, he glanced at Yi Wanwan. Is that so? Yi Wanwan immediately sensed something amiss in Si Yihan's tone and blinked. She added tactfully, although I really want you to keep me company like this too and give me loving kisses, if you gave me loving kisses, how could I focus on doing my homework? Why can't you focus? Because my mind would be completely focused on you. Si Yihan's mouth twitched slightly. I once thought she was too timid and too scared of me. Now. Oh, right. Ajio, I found a film that's perfect for Jiang Yanran. It's director Peng Yuanhu's Jasmine. The topic, characters, and production crew are all top-notch. Peng Yuanhu also never does the whole casting couch or bribery thing and only chooses artists he respects. So, this is truly an excellent opportunity. I'm planning to let Jiang Yanran audition for the film. I'm meeting up with Yanran tomorrow to talk about this. If Yanran gets the role and wins Best Actress, I'll be over the moon. Si Yihan listened to Yi Wanwan's confident analysis. He had watched her transform and grow step by step until she could stand on her own. An indescribable feeling overcame him. He was glad. He was glad he had chosen to believe in her back then. He was glad he repressed the poisonous vines inside him that were growing and getting out of control day by day. True protection was a nourishing type of care, not a possessive enclosure. The next day, Yi Wanwan arrived at the chosen restaurant for her meet-up with Jiang Yanran. Sister Wanwan. Over here. Yi Wanwan could see Chu Feng waving at her from far away and hastened to their table. Yi Wanwan smiled and said, to celebrate Yanran being the top scorer, the meal's on me today. Order whatever you want. Then we won't be polite. Jiang Yanran happily said. Oh, right. Congratulations to you too, Chu Feng. Yi Wanwan looked at Chu Feng meaningfully. She thought Jiang Yanran wasn't as enthusiastic about Han Xianyu the night before because she had shifted her focus onto her boyfriend. Huh? Why are you congratulating me? Chu Feng scratched his head in confusion. Yi Wanwan didn't say anything. Instead, she took out the signed photos of Han Xianyu from her bag and handed it to Jiang Yanran. Yanran, for you. Thank you. Jiang Yanran accepted the signed photos but had an embarrassed expression. Wanwan, what's the matter? Yi Wanwan asked. Jiang Yanran hesitated for half a day before continuing, Wanwan, actually. Chapter 1096, 1096. Yi Wanwan became more curious when she saw Jiang Yanran's extremely conflicted expression. What is it? Jiang Yanran forcibly closed her eyes and exclaimed in one breath, I climbed a wall. Yi Wanwan choked and started coughing. Ahem. You climbed a wall. In the idol circle, climbing a wall meant liking and moving on to another celebrity. Yi Wanwan was truly surprised. Jiang Yanran liked Han Xianyu so much, yet she climbed a wall. Which celebrity could be this charming? Yes. Jiang Yanran had her head lowered but she nodded fiercely. Chu Feng nodded next to Jiang Yanran. I also climbed the wall with Yanran. Our new wall is super handsome. Yi Wanwan was at a loss for words. She thought Jiang Yanran was finally focusing on her boyfriend, Chu Feng, but it turned out she merely shifted her target. Yi Wanwan asked with interest, which celebrity is so awesome that he could make you climb a wall, Yanran? Jiang Yanran held her face as she said, he's from Age of the Immortals. Oh. Our company. Yi Wanwan's interest grew. Could it be Luo Chen? No. Jiang Yanran shook her head. Yi Wanwan coughed lightly. It can't be Gong Su, right? This was quite a large jump in taste. It isn't. He actually isn't a celebrity. Jiang Yanran said. He isn't a celebrity. Then who is he? Yi Wanwan was confused. Jiang Yanran hurriedly dug out her phone. Let me show you the photo I saved. Although he isn't a celebrity, he's super handsome. Also, he seems especially familiar ever since the first time I saw him, and he keeps giving me a very secure feeling. Also. He's super awesome. After hearing such high praise from Jiang Yanran, Yi Wanwan still couldn't figure out which person from the company fit her description even after much thought. Look. It's him. Jiang Yanran opened a photo and handed her phone to Yi Wanwan. And then, Yi Wanwan saw a screenshot. The screenshot was Gong Su's live stream room. Didn't she say it wasn't Gong Su? Oh wait, that's not right. It's this one. Jiang Yanran flicked to another photo. And then, Yi Wanwan saw that the person in the screenshot was Yi Bai. When Yi Wanwan saw herself, she was dumbstruck. She didn't know whether to cry or laugh. Your new wall is him. Jiang Yanran enthusiastically said, that's right. You must recognize him, right? He's Han Xianyu's best brother, and he's Gong Su and Luo Chen's manager, Yi Bai. I used to pay a lot of attention to Han Xianyu, so the first time I saw him was at the press conference related to Han Xianyu's scandal. He was standing in the midst of reporters, but he was especially eye-catching still. Later, through the information Han Xianyu revealed during a few interviews, I surmised that it was Yi Bai who helped him resolve the scandal behind the scenes. He's so awesome. He managed to not only help Luo Chen make a comeback, but he also tamed the tyrant of the entertainment industry, Gong Su. Then he revived Dazzling Media. After leaving Dazzling Media, he was boycotted by Worldwide Entertainment, but he managed to use a magazine cover to carve out a path of survival. Finally, he defeated a wolf with bare hands and turned Emperor Sky Entertainment's anniversary celebration into the press conference for a life and death struggle. As Yi Wanwan listened to Jiang Yanran transforming into a complete superfan and babbling about Yi Bai's history since he became a manager, she had no idea what to say. She never would have imagined in her life that Jiang Yanran's new wall would be her. Chapter 1097. Chu Feng's expression was more excited than Jiang Yanran's. He enthusiastically advertised Yi Bai to Yi Wanwan with starry eyes. It's true, it's true. Sister Wanwan, believe me. Yi Bai is really super awesome. He's a god-level figure. Even I'm nearly in love with him. Yi Wanwan held her head speechlessly. Please don't. Thanks. Wanwan, can you help me get an autograph from Yi Bai? Pretty please. Jiang Yanran eagerly asked. Yi Wanwan, she only told Jiang Yanran that she had followed Yi Mufan and started working at Age of the Immortals but didn't have the chance to tell her that she was cross-dressing. She was originally planning to tell Jiang Yanran about it today along with the audition for Elder Peng's movie, but who knew this would happen? Ahem, you really want Yi Bai's autograph? Yi Wanwan asked with a light cough. Jiang Yanran nodded frantically. Can I? Of course, forget about it if it's an inconvenience. Yi Bai isn't a celebrity after all, Yi Wanwan, actually, it's quite convenient. Jiang Yanran's eyes lit up. Really? Yi Wanwan nodded. Where do you want the autograph? What's the best place to sign it? Jiang Yanran ransacked her mind anxiously for a long time before holding her face with adoration. In reality, I really want him to sign it on my shirt. But I know that's impossible. Let me look, I think I have a notebook in my bag, the shirt is fine. Yi Wanwan said unexpectedly. Jiang Yanran was startled. Joyful surprise flooded her face. Wanwan, are you for real? Yi Wanwan nodded with certainty. I'm for real. Actually, you can have the autograph wherever you want it. Jiang Yanran blurted out, can I have it on my body too? You can. Jiang Yanran became more surprised. Could it be that Wanwan could take her to see Yi Bai face to face? Yi Wanwan held her forehead with exasperation and said, speaking of which, have I not told you that? I didn't use my real identity to work in the entertainment industry, nor did I use the name, Yi Wanwan. Huh? What do you mean? Jiang Yanran was puzzled. Chu Feng interjected, I get it. It's like how some artists change their names after entering the entertainment industry. Are you using an alias or something, Sister Wanwan? Yi Wanwan didn't answer directly and asked instead, do you have a pen? Sister Wanwan, I do. Chu Feng pulled out a black autograph pen. Yi Wanwan accepted the pen and told Jiang Yanran, give me your hand. Huh? Jiang Yanran extended her hand with confusion. Hand? What about my hand? Yi Wanwan took off the pen cap and held Jiang Yanran's hand, palm side up. Then she signed 2 characters on her palm. Jiang Yanran felt a tickle on her palm and saw Yi Wanwan seemingly writing something on her palm. Wanwan, what did you write? Jiang Yanran asked as she retracted her hand. She rotated her palm so that she could see the characters right side up. Yi Wanwan's handwriting wasn't too illegible, so Jiang Yanran could clearly see that she wrote, Yi Bai, and also added a heart next to the autograph. After discerning what Yi Wanwan wrote, Jiang Yanran's eyes shot wide open. Ah! Wanwan, you wrote, Chu Feng also got closer. I think it's Yi Bai. The second after they spoke, they simultaneously looked up at Yi Wanwan. Yi Wanwan met the two children's confused gazes and lightly coughed before saying, My current position is a manager, and the name and identity that I use when I'm working is Yi Bai. Jiang Yanran, Chu Feng. Chapter 1098. 1098 Chu Feng snatched Jiang Yanran's hand and nearly pierced her hand from how hard he was trying to look at the name. Yi Bai. Sister Wanwan, what are you saying? Your alias is Yi Bai too. Yi Wanwan glanced at him. No. Our company only has one Yi Bai. He's Gong Su and Luo Chen's manager, Yi Bai. Huh, Chu Feng became more dumbfounded. Jiang Yanran's reaction was the same as Chu Feng's. Wanwan, are you saying you are Yi Bai? Chu Feng coughed. Sister Wanwan, you're joking with us, right? Isn't Yi Bai a guy? Yi Wanwan nodded. That's right. I thought I should do a complete makeover when I changed identities, so I changed gender too. Chu Feng and Jiang Yanran looked at each other with bewilderment as they listened to Yi Wanwan's nonchalant words. Yi Wanwan was about to continue explaining when an unfamiliar number called her. Yi Wanwan glanced at her phone. It was a number from Sea City, so it was probably the troops. Gong Su and Luo Chen were conducting their special training, so their phones were confiscated. They could only use the public phone at the base and were limited to a 5-minute phone call every day. Let me take a phone call, Yi Wanwan said and picked up the call. As soon as it connected, Gong Su's ghastly wail was heard from the other end. Brother Yi, save me. Good brother Yi, save me. I want to go home. They're abusing me. Gong Su's howl was thunderous to the ear, so Jiang Yanran and Chu Feng could both hear him clearly across from Yi Wanwan. Jiang Yanran was startled and muttered to herself, why does this voice sound like Gong Su's? Yi Wanwan held the phone farther away. However, Gong Su kept babbling and bawling nonsensically on the other end, so she had no idea what he was trying to say. Yi Wanwan naturally switched to her male voice and said exasperatedly, Stop, stop, stop. Calm down. What's wrong now? Weren't you fine when I left? Didn't you promise me you would train well? The second that Yi Wanwan spoke, Jiang Yanran's head shot up and Chu Feng looked like he had seen a ghost. Why you? Yi Bai. Isn't this Yi Bai's voice? As competent diehard fans, they could still recognize their idol's voice even though Yi Bai rarely made appearances. When Gong Su heard Chu Feng's voice, he howled, Brother Yi, why is there another man's voice on your end? Are you taking on a newbie again while I'm gone? I knew it. I knew you just wanted to use this opportunity to abandon me. Upon sensing another ceaseless barrage from Gong Su, Yi Wanwan reached the end of her patience. Gong Su. Enough already. Let Luo Chen take the phone. Gong Su, no. I only have 5 minutes to talk to you, yet you want Luo Chen to take the phone. Your time's up. Luo Chen's voice came from the other end, then the phone switched speakers. Luo Chen, Brother Yi. Yi Wanwan finally relaxed upon hearing Luo Chen. What's up with him? Is the training too hard? If you really can't accept the severity of the training, then I can call Instructor Lei and decrease the workload. Luo Chen was silent for a few seconds before saying, Brother Yi, that's not it, then why? It's because the food is too awful. Yi Wanwan. Huh? Gong Su, Brother Yi. Do you know what they gave me to eat? It's all mantou and pickled vegetables. What is this if not torture? I worked my butt off the whole day and simply wanted something good to eat, but I ended up seeing that. Do you know how I felt? I was in utter despair. Chapter 1099. 1099 Yi Wanwan, she really had nothing to say. Gong Su, I want to go back. Go back. My meat, my pork chops, my potato chips, my spicy noodles, my chocolate, my cake, Yi Wanwan bluntly interrupted Gong Su's howling. I already bought the clothes. Gong Su, huh? What clothes? Yi Wan Wan, a dress, it's pink. Gong Su, ah, mantus are too delicious. I think I can eat 100. I'll go now, brother Yi. I need to go eat mantus. After I finish eating, I still need to go train. Bye-bye, Yi Wan Wan. After Yi Wan Wan hung up, Chu Feng and Jiang Yanran were still frozen. Although they didn't know what Yi Wan Wan and Gong Su were talking about, that phone call alone was too mystical. Yi Wan Wan couldn't help but chuckle at Jiang Yanran's hollow look. Yanran, didn't you just say you thought Yi Bai seemed very familiar? Do you understand the reason now? Jiang Yanran was still dazed for a moment before she fiercely nodded. She stared unblinkingly at Yi Wan Wan and realized that they were kind of similar. Why hadn't she ever noticed? Maybe it was because Yi Bai gave off a very different feeling than Yi Wan Wan, so most people wouldn't make the connection that they were the same person. Even if people occasionally had fleeting thoughts that they were similar, they wouldn't put much thought into it. Chu Feng gulped and looked at Yi Wan Wan before looking at Yi Bai's photo saved on his phone. Sister Wan Wan. You're really Yi Bai. Yi Wan Wan took her phone out and took a photo of Jiang Yanran's autographed palm before logging onto Yi Bai's Weibo and making a post. I ran into a little fangirl today. Photo attached. Jiang Yanran probably had a special follow alert in place, so as soon as Yi Wan Wan posted it, an alert rang on her phone. She opened her phone and saw Yi Bai's newest post from a few seconds ago. Chu Feng leaned over and stared at Jiang Yanran's screen, his eyes wide open. He nearly went mad. Shit! Sister Wan Wan, it really is you. I actually climbed my own backyard's wall. Yi Wan Wan's lips twitched. I'm also very surprised that you climbed over to my wall. Chu Feng was full of excitement. So, you really are Yi Bai, eh? Is there still justice in this world? Why are you so handsome even dressed as a guy, Sister Wan Wan? Yi Wan Wan raised her brows. Is it that hard to believe? Chu Feng stared at Yi Wan Wan and was immensely resentful. Sister Wan Wan, I should thank your mother. Yi Wan Wan gave him side eye. Why would you thank my mom? Chu Feng, I should thank Auntie for not birthing you as a son. Yi Wan Wan nodded. That's true. You should thank my mom. Otherwise, Yanran would definitely be my girlfriend. You wouldn't even be in the picture. Life is already so hard, you shouldn't unmask everything, Sister Wan Wan. Wait, no. God Yi Bai. Please give me your autograph. I want it too. I want it all, my clothes, my body, my notepad, everywhere. Yi Wan Wan rolled her eyes at him. I'm already with you, why do you still want an autograph? Enough, all jokes aside, I called Yanran here for official business. Yanran, let me tell you. Yanran. Jiang Yanran, who had been staring at Yi Wan Wan in a daze, suddenly regained her wits and slammed her head onto the table with a bang. Let me calm down for a moment. My God, my God. You're actually Yi Bai. I've actually been reserved by my idol a long time ago. I was earlier than Luo Chen. Happiness came too suddenly. Chapter 1100 Yi Wan Wan gave them a rough explanation of the matter. So it's like that. But, since you're so pretty, it's much safer for you to dress as a guy. Mr. C must have been worried about you before. Jiang Yanran nodded in understanding. Chu Feng blinked and quietly mumbled, actually, it isn't necessarily safe for men these days either. Jiang Yanran, Chu Feng, what did you say? Nothing. I said that if we wanted to see our idol in the future, can't we just have Sister Wan Wan dress as a guy when she comes to eat with us? Chu Feng exclaimed excitedly. Jiang Yanran, oh, that's right. Yi Wan Wan, that's technically true. After half a day of turmoil, Jiang Yanran and Chu Feng finally finished calming down. Yi Wan Wan sighed. Are you calm now? Can we talk official business now? Jiang Yanran raised her hand. Wan Wan, I still have something to say. What is it? I just wanted to say something. Yi Wanwan asked, what? Jiang Yanran cried, why didn't Auntie give birth to you as a guy? Ah, so heartbreaking, Yi Wanwan's lips twitched. Enough already, you. Your Chu Feng's heart is gonna ache. Chu Feng sniffed and murmured, if it's Sister Wanwan, I'll allow it. What use was it for him to object? Such a terrifying love rival. Yi Wanwan, alright, I'm calm. What did you want to say, Wanwan? Jiang Yanran seriously awaited what she had to say. Yi Wanwan sternly asked, Yanran, do you know director Peng Yuanhu's new movie? Jiang Yanran thought about it. Peng Yuanhu's new move. You mean Jasmine? That's right. Jiang Yanran nodded. Of course I know about it. I heard he couldn't find a suitable female lead after half a year, so he hasn't started shooting yet. Wanwan, why do you ask? Director Peng is going to hold an audition for the female lead at all the major theater schools. I suggest you audition. Yi Wanwan got straight to the point. Me? Surprise filled Jiang Yanran's face. That's director Peng Yuanhu's movie. How could I successfully audition? I definitely won't make it. Yi Wanwan solemnly said, believe me. Your abilities and fundamentals alone are enough. Plus, I also studied the movie's script, and every aspect of it suits you. Jiang Yanran was still hesitant. But the A-listers and super A-listers who auditioned before all didn't pass, so how could a student who hasn't even started her career like me? The fact that you haven't been contaminated by the entertainment industry is one of your biggest advantages. If what director Peng wanted was those superstars who carry their own popularity, why didn't he choose them earlier? They didn't pass the audition, which means director Peng doesn't want that kind of female lead, Yi Wanwan said logically. Jiang Yanran still wavered. But, can I really? Although Jiang Yanran was very outstanding, her personality was still a bit soft since she was overprotected and hadn't gone out into the real world yet. Yi Wanwan was silent for a moment. Then she thought of something and her eyes shifted. She switched to Yi Bai's voice and gently said, how about you try it out regardless of whether you succeed or not? Consider it an experience. Will you go? Jiang Yanran started before promptly blurting, I'll go. Yi Wanwan, the draw of an idol, was very powerful as expected. Chapter 1101, then what do I need to prepare right now? Jiang Yanran asked nervously. I'll first send your information to the crew and help you register. You shouldn't have any problems signing up to audition with your grades at Imperial Films. Then I'll send the script and the related information to you, so study it well. Ask me anything you don't understand. The dancing shouldn't be hard for you, so you just need to practice a bit later, Yi Wanwan instructed. Jiang Yanran bobbed her head. Yes, got it. I understand. Do your best and don't be nervous. It's okay even if you don't pass. Just consider it a valuable learning experience. Okay, after the matter was dealt with, Yi Wanwan started making arrangements for Jiang Yanran's audition. As she expected, the registration was a success, and she quickly received confirmation from the crew about the location and time for the audition and also sent them a simple script and some related information. Yi Wanwan skimmed over everything, and her expression became serious. The name of Jasmine's female protagonist was Lin Molly, and Lin Molly's character wasn't that simple. In the beginning, she was a naive girl, but after the war broke out, she lost her memory during the chaos and became another person. What was hard was the storyline after Lin Molly lost her memory and the series of complicated emotional turmoil that was caused by the clashing of conflicting memories. It looked like Yi Wanwan had to take some more time to study it. Since she only had a rough synopsis of the script right now, she planned to find similar movies and use them as references before seeking out Jiang Yanran and helping her prepare. For the next few days, Yi Wanwan prepared for the Jasmine audition. Everything was also smooth sailing with Gong Su and Luo Chen, except for Gong Su's demonic mantras that assaulted her ears for 5 minutes every day. Late at night, Yi Wanwan glanced at the time on her phone. and her brows furrowed. Si Yihan hadn't returned yet. Si Yihan appeared to be very busy recently. Because he was busy late into the night and was afraid of disturbing her and Tang Tang, he had been living at Jean Garden the last few days. That guy, how can he bounce back into his old habits as soon as his body gets slightly better? Yi Wanwan kissed Tang Tang's forehead before lightly getting up and changing. She couldn't put her mind to rest no matter what, so she decided to drive to Jean Garden. Shortly, the car arrived at the entrance. Under the moonlight, Yi Wanwan saw that all the flowers, fruits, and vegetables she planted in the garden were growing well, and their fresh fragrance permeated the air. Although they didn't seem to match the elegant villa, they were thriving nicely and added some life to the place. Yi Wanwan pulled her jacket tightly before walking to the front door. When Yi Wanwan approached the front door of the main building, her face drastically changed, and she subconsciously halted. Aside from the clean smell from the plants in the garden, she could detect a faint coppery smell in the air the closer she got to the front door. The smell of blood. The face of Su Yi, who had been guarding the front door, was seen as soon as he saw Yi Wanwan. Miss Wanwan, why are you here? Yi Wanwan could detect something amiss with Su Yi's expression and suspiciously asked, I'm not allowed to be here. What was Si Yihan doing inside in the middle of the night with Su Yi guarding the doors? Su Yi quickly replied, No, I meant it's already so late, so why did you come over at this time of the night? Was there something urgent? I was just worried about him. I was afraid he'd forget about his health again when he got busy, Yi Wanwan said as she walked inside the house. However, Su Yi reflexively stepped forward to block Yi Wanwan. Miss Wanwan, please wait. Yi Wanwan lifted her brows when she saw this. Steward Su, why are you acting so guilty? Is Si Yihan hiding a woman inside? Moli means, Jasmine. Chapter 1102, 1102 Hiding a woman? That's impossible. Su Yi's face turned black as tar. He quickly waved his hands and explained, Don't you know Ninth Master well, Miss Wanwan? How could Ninth Master do something like that? Of course I know him. My Ajo wouldn't take a second look at another woman no matter how pretty she was. Of course, there also aren't any women prettier than me. Su Yi, if that isn't it, why are you blocking me? Su Yi wiped his sweat and realized he couldn't hide it from her, so he had no choice but to answer honestly, Miss Wanwan, I'm blocking you for your own good. Ninth Master is inside handling some special business. Didn't you make me act as your spy before, and wanted me to inform you when you encountered this type of situation? Yi Wanwan's eyes shifted as she remembered. She remembered that one time when she came home from school after she had just been rebirthed, she accidentally stumbled upon Si Yihan torturing someone and almost angered him. Later, she enticed Su Yi and told him to give her a heads up if she was going to encounter a similar situation in the future to avoid stumbling onto something she shouldn't see. No wonder she smelled the scent of blood. It wasn't her imagination. Yi Wanwan pouted. Fine then, I'll go to the garden to look at my crops. Tell me when he's finished. Su Yi relaxed upon hearing that. Sure. Then Yi Wanwan turned to go to the garden. Yi Wanwan didn't think anything of the business Su Yi mentioned. After all, how could Si Yihan stabilize a giant clan like the Si family without using some special methods and cruelty? She would be too overbearing if she insisted on Si Yihan acting as an angel who never touched blood. In reality, she had always known that Si Yihan merely exercised more restraint, was more cautious in front of her and never allowed her to see those bloody scenes. She just wasn't sure about the reason behind the torture tonight. As Yi Wanwan strolled through the garden and waited for Si Yihan to finish up, she got hungry, so she randomly picked some fruit to eat. Look, wasn't it great to plant vegetables and fruit trees? She could have anything to eat as she walked. A few steps later, Yi Wanwan saw the chicken coop and turned on her flashlight to take a look. The original little yellow chicks had all grown into hens and roosters. Each chicken looked chubby and glossy. Their excellent care was evident. Yi Wanwan happily approached and reached out into a nest to search around. She dug out a white chicken egg. She was happily amusing herself inside the garden when she heard the sound of footsteps behind her. She reflexively looked back and saw Si Yihan walking toward her with a black jacket in his hand. Yi Wanwan immediately went over. "You're done." "Yeah." Si Yihan draped the jacket over her shoulders. "Let's go inside. It's cold outside." Yi Wanwan mumbled, "Why did it take you so long to finish? Are you really hiding a woman inside the house behind my back?" Si Yihan glanced at her. "I wouldn't take a second look at another woman no matter how pretty she was. Moreover, there aren't any women prettier than you." Yi Wanwan instantly choked. Cough cough cough. You heard everything? Seriously, why is his hearing so good? Anyway, I was speaking the truth. Yi Wanwan pouted. Under the moonlight, he revealed an expression gentler than ever and reached out to pat her head with his slender and fair fingers. "Yes." Chapter 1103. Yi Wanwan looked up and was about to say something to Si Yihan when she noticed something odd. She intently stared at him and got closer to take a sniff. Under the moonlight, he was wearing a white dress shirt, and his cold and aloof face was as bewitching as usual, but his dark hair appeared to be a little wet. Moreover, there weren't any bloody scents coming from him. Instead, he had the clean and fresh fragrance from a shower. "What?" Si Yihan met her glittering eyes. You showered?" Yi Wanwan asked. Si Yihan nodded. "Yeah." Was he worried that the scent of blood would scare her? So he intentionally took a shower before coming to see her. With that thought, it wasn't only Yi Wanwan's jacket-covered body that was warm, but her heart also felt like it was encased in hot water. "These past few days, have you been taking care of the Si Mingli matter?" Yi Wanwan asked with concern. She didn't know whether the person acting behind Si Mingli was found yet. She herself had been trying to get old Zhang's group to use the lead of Tang Long and the Noise of Dragon's mercenary group to scout for information. Unfortunate, the lips of mercenaries were sealed too tightly, so they couldn't find the person behind Si Mingli. Si Yihan's gaze turned a tinge severe. "Don't worry about that. I'll take care of it." Then he stared at her with eyes as dark as an abyss and said, "Wanwan, promise me one thing." "What?" Yi Wanwan looked up. "Don't let the events from last time happen a second time. As soon as there's danger, leave the Si family immediately and leave the country, understand?" Si Yihan sternly ordered her. Yi Wanwan's brows furrowed. "There won't be a second time. Isn't your body healed? Dr. Sun didn't find any problems in your last few checkups and said you were recovering very nicely." Si Yihan didn't refute her. "Yes. So you can't allow business to interfere with your sleep. Staying up late is very harmful to the body. It'll harm the liver and kidney, and cause a decline in memory skills and hair loss. Most importantly, you'll turn ugly. If you turn ugly, I'll climb a wall." Yi Wanwan warned him in a low voice. Si Yihan glanced at her plainly. "What did you say?" "I said staying up late is harmful to the body. Not that sentence. Staying up late will cause you to turn ugly. Next sentence. Even if you turn ugly. I absolutely won't climb a wall. Wait, no. I won't take a second look at other men no matter how handsome they are. You're the most handsome even if you turn ugly." Si Yihan. Under Yi Wanwan's tight watch, Si Yihan finally got back to a normal sleep schedule. She also successfully finished her exams, and it was soon the day of the audition. Yi Wanwan accompanied Jiang Yanran to the audition location. "Don't be nervous. Just act as you normally do." Yi Wanwan was speaking to Jiang Yanran when her phone rang. Yi Wanwan switched to a male voice exasperatedly. "Hello. Brother Yi." Gong Su's demonic voice came through the phone as usual. Pause. "Call me again later, I'm busy right now," Yi Wanwan interrupted him. "You're busy? Why are you busy again? Luo Chen and I both aren't there, so what could you be busy with? Did you find another fresh piece of meat behind my back?" Gong Su asked with alarm. Yi Wanwan's lips twitched. Gong Su's instincts were truly like that of a wild beast. What wild dreams are you having? What fresh meat? That's non-existent. I'm busy enough with you alone. I don't plan to accept any new artists, Yi Wanwan irritably snapped. Technically, I'm not lying. Jiang Yanran isn't fresh meat or a new artist. I recruited her a long time ago. Chapter 1104. 1104. After hearing her assurance, Gong Su finally hung up with relief. Meanwhile, Yi Wanwan continued to practice the script with Jiang Yanran. The audition this time composed of the most outstanding students from the major film and theater colleges in Imperial City, so the competition was very intense. Jiang Yanran might have superb grades at school, but she didn't have many advantages over those students who had already started their careers and accumulated some popularity. In the short time they'd been there, Yi Wanwan had already seen several new talents strongly promoted by Global Entertainment and Emperor Sky. She even saw Liang Shihan. Liang Shihan had signed on to Emperor Sky Entertainment through her connections with Liang Meixian and Yi Yi. In the crowd, Liang Shihan spotted Yi Wanwan and her eyes widened in surprise. She haughtily walked toward them at once and derisively mocked, My, who do I see? Yi Wanwan. You didn't possibly come for an audition too, right? Because Yi Wanwan had to go to her school to retrieve her graduation certificate after accompanying Jiang Yanran on her audition, she was dressed as a girl for convenience. Aren't you overestimating yourself? Do you think you can succeed in this industry simply because you have good looks? This is director Peng Yuanhu's film. Yet, you have the guts to come and audition. Liang Shihan prattled on by herself, but she angrily stomped her feet when Yi Wanwan didn't respond. Hey, what aren't you saying anything? Yi Wanwan raised her eyebrows and looked at Liang Shihan. I'm sorry, I only understand human essay. You. Liang Shihan was incensed. It's all your fault. Auntie Meixian was chastised. However, Yi Wanwan, don't get too cocky. Your brother's lousy little company will soon go bankrupt. Yi Wanwan was disinclined to pay attention to this moron. Her uncle's family considered that mistress' daughter, Liang Meixian, as their family but stopped considering Yi Wanwan's parents, who had actually helped them, as their family and even struck them while they were down. Jiang Yanran furiously stood up. Who are you, and why are you talking so nastily? Wanwan is here to accompany me for my audition. Liang Shihan snorted. I'm the niece of the wife of the CEO of Yi Group and the cousin of Yi Yi, the director of the talent recruitment department at Emperor Sky Entertainment. This role will definitely go to me. Beauty Jiang, I recommend that you stop wasting time and head home early. After she said that, she turned around to leave in smug satisfaction. A few nearby students who were there for the audition all revolved around her like she was the sun and praised and flattered her in all sorts of ways. Jiang Yanran frowned. She's that younger cousin of yours? Ignore her and focus on your audition. I've figured out the scenes that have a larger probability of being evaluated. Pay attention to these, Yi Wanwan said and made marks on the papers she prepared. Although Jiang Yanran was angry, she still focused and listened to Yi Wanwan's explanation. She must work hard for Wanwan. Soon, the audition started and the staff had everyone draw their order for the audition. Since unrelated personnel couldn't enter, Yi Wanwan could only wait outside. Students came out one after another, but nearly everyone had their heads downcast with sour expressions. It appeared they weren't too successful. About half an hour later, Liang Shihan came out as well, looking confident. Before she left, she sent a provocative look toward Yi Wanwan. I heard your brother is depending on a life and death struggle to get a Golden Orchid Award. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you don't have any chance for this year's Golden Orchid Awards, whether it's for Best Actor or Best Actress. As Yi Wanwan watched Liang Shihan leaving smugly, her lips imperceptibly turned up. They didn't have any chance. Just wait and see. Chapter 1105. 1105. Yi Wanwan wasn't worried about outside factors affecting the results of this audition. In her previous life, there must have been a lot of companies who wanted to install their artists as the female lead, but Peng Yuanhu would rather delay shooting for 2 years than use an actress he was dissatisfied with. With Peng Yuanhu's status in the industry, he had absolute control over the casting. Not a single outside factor could affect his decision except for the artist's own abilities. Other actresses left in succession after they finished their auditions, but Jiang Yanran drew a number near the end, so Yu Wanwan had to wait. However, Yu Wanwan waited for nearly 2 hours, and Jiang Yanran still hadn't come out. Yu Wanwan was looking at her phone when a staff member wearing a cap and holding the script rushed out. He anxiously and excitedly surveyed the room before asking, "Who is Miss Wanwan?" When Yu Wanwan heard this, she stood up from her chair. "I am." The staff member suspiciously examined Yu Wanwan and asked with furrowed brows, "You're Yu Wanwan?" "I am," Yu Wanwan repeated. The staff member was startled briefly. "Didn't you come to audition?" When he first noticed the girl, he thought she was a student who also came to audition. "I came to keep a friend company," Yu Wanwan answered. "Is your friend Jiang Yanran?" the staff member asked. "That's right." "Then come with me," the staff member ordered without saying anything more. Yu Wanwan's eyes glinted. "Okay." The staff member hastily led Yu Wanwan inside. In the audition hall, the director, assistant director, producer, screenwriter, and investors were all present. Jiang Yanran was reservedly standing in front of a long table while the producer kept asking her all types of questions. "Miss Jiang, what pay are you asking for?" "Miss Jiang, we're requesting that you start on with the cast and crew in 3 days, do you have a problem with that?" "Miss Jiang, you should know about the situation with this film. It's been delayed for a long time, so we hope you can look over this contract as soon as possible." Jiang Yanran was evidently unprepared to deal with this sort of situation, discomfort clear on her face. "I'm sorry, I'm not too experienced about these matters. Can you please wait until my friend comes and directly speak with her?" When Jiang Yanran heard footsteps coming from the doorway, she looked up in pleasant surprise like she had seen a savior. "Wanwan." Yu Wanwan walked toward Jiang Yanran and hugged her in comfort. "Wanwan, I got it." Jiang Yanran was flushed from excitement. Although Yu Wanwan had already guessed that when she heard the producer's questions, she was still emotional when she heard Jiang Yanran telling her outright. "Congratulations, Yanran." Because of her family background and talent, Jiang Yanran had superb fundamentals from a young age, so she was well-grounded even though she didn't have practical experience. "Wanwan, you guessed correctly. The scene I drew was the one where the female protagonist danced under the moonlight after she lost her memories," Jiang Yanran said excitedly. The producer looked at Yu Wanwan and asked with slightly furrowed brows, "Miss Jiang, this is the friend you mentioned?" "That's right, Producer Wang." Jiang Yanran nodded. She had recovered her calm since Yu Wanwan was next to her. "Hello, Producer Wang." Yu Wanwan calmly greeted the producer. "You can directly talk to me about any issues related to the contract and shooting." Chapter 1106. The producer was briefly startled. He reckoned Jiang Yanran had probably dragged a friend over in a rush to help her discuss her contract because she wasn't signed with a company and didn't have a manager. It was a bit of a taboo for artists to discuss their own resources and contracts in the entertainment industry, so Jiang Yanran couldn't negotiate her price or terms. However, wasn't it too rash of her to get such a young girl to discuss this? This was why he hadn't wanted to cast fresh new talent. The negotiating part would be too troublesome. He had no alternative though. Director Peng uneasily relented and chose a female lead who satisfied him, and they could finally start shooting after waiting for more than half a year. Everyone nearly cried from how joyful they were. He had to progress with the discussion regardless of how troublesome it was. The producer couldn't help but suggest, "Miss Jiang, I suggest you decide for yourself so that things go faster." He would rather directly discuss it with Jiang Yanran instead of discussing it with someone inexperienced. It would save him the trouble of having a 3-person negotiation. Jiang Yanran shook her head and said determinedly, "I don't understand these matters. You can just talk with my friend." I'll listen to her completely. Yi Wanwan couldn't help chuckling. Wasn't this child too honest? Wasn't this child afraid she would sell her out? Yi Wanwan could understand the producer's concern. She simply looked too young, so he didn't consider her reliable. The main point was that she didn't expect the director and crew to make a decision so quickly and wanted to discuss the contract on the spot, so she had no choice but to represent Jiang Yanran with this identity. Yanran just finished her exams, and it happens to be summer vacation now, so Yanran can enter the film crew at any time and will have enough time to shoot the film. Neither you nor the director have to worry about this. As for the compensation, it will be in accordance with standard practices. Yanran is still a newbie, after all, so we won't demand an exorbitant price. However, Yi Wanwan swiftly stated all the problems clearly and distinctly, then listed all the questions they wanted to be answered on their side. The producer became more and more surprised as he listened to her. This level of negotiation, experience, and comprehension of insider information, how did a student accomplish it? A moment later, the producer had a drastically different expression as he looked at Yi Wanwan. Miss Yi, may I boldly ask how old you are? I'm a first-year student at Imperial Media University, Yi Wanwan answered. Although she would get her diploma today, she still hadn't obtained it yet. Miss Yi is truly fearsome. How are you so knowledgeable about the industry? Producer Wang couldn't help but ask. I'm interning at Age of the Immortals, so I am somewhat acquainted with this information, Yi Wanwan offhandedly replied before turning to Jiang Yanran. Did you hear what we discussed just now? Bring up any problems you have right now so we can discuss them as soon as possible. Jiang Yanran's gaze at Yi Wanwan was brimming with admiration. I don't. Your decisions will do. She was in utter disbelief that her idol was discussing her contract for her. How could she have any problems? And so, with extreme efficiency, Yi Wanwan managed to settle the majority of the contract and the shooting time with the crew on the spot. As Peng Yuanhu looked at the contract that the producer handed him, his furrowed brows finally eased. I can finally shoot this film while I'm alive, that's right, Director Peng. Congratulations. Everyone else was also very excited. Peng Yuanhu walked over to Jiang Yanran. Miss Jiang, I'm very happy to see outstanding new talent like you and am also very glad that you participated in the audition today. I hope we can work well together. Chapter 1107, 1107 Jiang Yanran subconsciously glanced at Yi Wanwan and said shamefully, actually, I was too afraid to come. It was my manager who strongly encouraged me to come. The producer revealed a doubtful expression when he heard that. This child had a manager. It was probably her friend or family or the like. There were many artists in the industry who liked to get their friends or relatives to be their managers, so it wasn't strange. Peng Yuanhu ruefully chuckled and said, then you must thank your manager for me. When they finished settling everything, Yi Wanwan and Jiang Yanran left the audition building. Jiang Yanran joyfully jumped. Wanwan. I'm so happy. It feels like a dream. Yi Wanwan laughed. I told you you'd make it for sure. Jiang Yanran frantically nodded. Yes, Master Yi Bai is always right. I can definitely do it if you say I can. I'm glad I didn't disappoint you. Although Jiang Yanran typically had a soft personality, she entered a completely different mode while standing in front of a camera. She looked superb and didn't show any fear at all. Yi Wanwan was confident about that. However, Yi Wanwan was still relieved at how surprisingly smooth it went. You'll need to enter the film crew in 3 days. Are you sure there won't be any problems? Do you want me to help you delay filming for a few days? Yi Wanwan asked. You don't. I can do it. Jiang Yanran's expression was a lot more confident than before. As they spoke, Chu Feng came rushing over. How was it? I got it. Really? That's great. We have to celebrate. Sister Wanwan, where do you want to go for food? Yi Wanwan glanced at the time on her phone. Go on, you two. I still have to go to my university to get my diploma. Ah, you're not coming with us, Wanwan. We can wait until you're done. Jiang Yanran was a bit disappointed. I don't want to be a third wheel. You two have fun. I'll go to your house to come see you tomorrow since I still have something to discuss with you. I also need to talk to your parents. Only after hearing that did Jiang Yanran brighten. Okay. My parents were urging me to invite you to our house for dinner just the other day. I also told my parents that you were my manager. They were at ease as soon as they heard it was you. Okay, go on then. I'm going now. After parting ways with Jiang Yanran and Chu Feng, Yi Wanwan drove to Imperial Media University. Imperial Media's only requirement for its students to skip a grade was for them to finish courses from their first year and send in the request a semester early. They didn't have any other limitations. You could choose to skip a year or 2 years or even skip to the end if you were capable enough. Yi Wanwan was afraid of troubles, so she naturally skipped to the end. Accompanied by Tang Tang, she also finished her graduation thesis with great success. It was originally supposed to be a happy matter, but Yi Wanwan felt some sorrow as she looked at the bright red diploma in her hands after walking out of the teacher's administration building. Although she saved a lot of time by graduating early, she also sacrificed her wonderful student life. She didn't have graduation photos or a graduation ceremony. She had to graduate by herself. While Yi Wanwan was lost in thought, Professor Li Yan's voice came from behind her. Wanwan. Yi Wanwan quickly turned around and greeted him, Professor Li. Did you come here to pick up your diploma today? Li Yan asked. That's right. How did you know? Chapter 1108, 1108 Professor Li Yan had a big grin on his face. Oh, child, Imperial Media University has existed for nearly a century, but only 3 people have managed to skip to graduation in one go. This news has spread throughout the entire school already, how could I not know? Last night, I mentioned it while I was having dinner with your grandfather and a few other friends. Your grandfather didn't say anything outright, but his tail was nearly raised to the sky. Yi Wanwan didn't know whether to cry or laugh when she heard that. However, she really did have to thank Professor Li for mentioning her in front of Grandpa repeatedly. It helped create a good impression for her grandpa. Oh, Wanwan, you should be free now that you're done with your exams, right? Professor Li suddenly asked after some chatting with her. When Yi Wanwan heard this question, her heart skipped a beat, and an ominous feeling washed over her. Professor Li looked expectant as he asked, When are you free, Wanwan? I'll invite your grandfather and grandmother, and our 2 families can have a casual meal together. That punk of mine just happens to be back as well. Yi Wanwan, why hadn't Professor Li forgotten about this matter yet? What casual meal? This was nothing but a matchmaking gala. She couldn't anymore, and she had to explain it clearly. Yi Wanwan scratched her head and abashedly said, I'm truly sorry, Professor Li, but I've been busy with studying and writing my thesis, so I didn't have any free time. Now that I'm finally free, I made plans with my boyfriend to go on a trip, so I won't be free these next few days. Professor Li was startled. Wanwan, you have a boyfriend? Yi Wanwan nodded. I do. Professor Li instantly felt his heart aching like his chosen flower had been picked by someone else. But after thinking about it, he found something was amiss. That's not right. Girl, you aren't lying to me, right? I talked to your grandfather earlier, but he didn't mention you had a boyfriend. Yi Wanwan rushed to explain. Professor Li, you know about my family's situation. I don't see Grandpa and Grandma often, so they don't know I have a boyfriend yet. You really aren't lying to me? Of course I'm not. Why would I lie to you? Oh, Wanwan, I know you young people are averse to matchmaking and arranged marriages, but let me tell you. I'm not boasting when I say my son is handsome and is a perfect match with you. Professor Li merely thought, I have a boyfriend, was Yi Wanwan's excuse, so he strongly plowed through. Yi Wanwan coughed. About that. Professor Li, I don't think looks are important. Feelings should be taken into greater consideration. Professor Lee was immediately irked. What, girl, you don't believe me? Let me show you a photo. In order to snuff out Professor Lee's hopes, Yi Wanwan had no choice but to wave her hand fiercely and say, no, no. I really don't care about looks. I actually prefer them uglier since they feel safer. Yi Wanwan was trying her hardest to persuade Li Yan when she heard rustling footsteps from someone treading on fallen leaves. Yi Wanwan automatically looked behind her and was shocked at first before her eyes shot wide open. Si Yihan was wearing a bluish-gray suit and was holding a large bouquet of fiery red roses as he walked toward her. On this rare occasion, Si Yihan was wearing something other than black and he was holding a fiery bouquet, making his face more eye-catching than usual. Yi Wanwan was nearly blinded from how dazzling he was. She was dumbfounded as she looked at him. Ah! Ajo, why are you here? Chapter 1109. Professor Lee stared at the man's face and reflexively put away his son's photo without a word. Then he suspiciously looked at Yi Wanwan. Wanwan, this is... Yi Wanwan helplessly covered her face and had no choice but to answer honestly, ahem, this. Professor Lee, this is my boyfriend. Professor Lee, this was the so-called, prefer them uglier? Could it be because he was too old that his beauty standards were out of date now? Yi Wanwan was currently at a loss for words and didn't dare to meet Professor Lee's eyes. Are you for real? I just said I preferred them uglier, and Si Yihan showed up. My face is beaten swollen, alright. Well then, Professor Lee, if there's nothing else, we'll be leaving now. As soon as Yi Wanwan said that, she hurriedly pulled Si Yihan and ran away. Yi Wanwan didn't relax until they were far away and couldn't see Professor Lee anymore. However, the moment she relaxed, a tingly feeling crept over her head. Si Yihan's low voice was heard next to her ears. You prefer them uglier? They feel safer. Yi Wanwan gulped and swiftly retorted, impossible. That's because Professor Lee kept trying to match me with his son and said his son was very handsome or something. Plus, he wouldn't believe me when I said I had a boyfriend. I was at a complete loss, so I had to randomly make up an excuse that I preferred them uglier. Then Yi Wanwan deftly pulled up her phone's selfie function and pushed the camera towards Si Yihan. You only have to look at your face, and you'll know that everything I said was to fool Professor Lee. But the second I said that, you showed up. You made my face beaten swollen. On the phone screen, Si Yihan's lips imperceptibly twitched. Upon seeing Si Yihan's expression easing up, Yi Wanwan quickly changed the topic. Oh, right, why are you here all of a sudden? Si Yihan glanced at her before handing the giant bouquet of roses to her. Congratulations on graduating. Ah, Yi Wanwan stared at the bouquet, stunned. She felt extremely flattered. These flowers are for me. Si Yihan glanced at her sideways. Who else would it be for? Yi Wanwan blinked and hastily took the flowers into her arms. Mine, it's mine. She was truly too surprised. She didn't expect Si Yihan's EQ to have improved so greatly. You purposefully came here, because I'm graduating today? Yi Wanwan probed. Si Yihan's expression looked a bit awkward, and he evaded her eyes. Yes. As Yi Wanwan hugged the bouquet of roses, the loss she originally felt about graduation was instantly wiped away. I thought I had to graduate by myself. Thank you, Ajo. Si Yihan couldn't help but be entranced by the girl whose smile was warm like the summer sun as she held her flowers. Yi Wanwan happily followed Si Yihan to the car. As soon as Si Yihan opened the car door, Yi Wanwan saw that Tang Tang was sitting in the back, and her face became even more surprised. Baby Tang Tang. Tang Tang was holding a gigantic cake in his arms. He was also overjoyed when he saw Yi Wanwan. Mommy. Congratulations on your graduation. The little fellow wanted to pounce into Yi Wanwan's arms immediately, but Si Yihan reminded him, be careful of the cake. Only then did Tang Tang remember he was still holding the cake and had to sit back down obediently. I kinda regret choosing to hold the cake instead of the roses. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.